missed a little bit of that. And then what I'll do is, I know Katarina is driving, so I'll do my best to describe maybe Arden, and then when you get in the game. But Arden is a scientist who survived a crazy experience on a jungle planet she was part of a military unit. She came away from that with a weapon that was bestowed to her by these strange reptilian like creatures with dreads we would all clearly just call meta-wise the predators. She was then taken into custody by Seegson, who was trying to get more information on her experience, and who knows if they were going to run tests on her or whatever. Weyland-Yutani had this crew break her out of there, and now she has become part of this crew. That's what I would share so far. And she does see the weapon, the alien weapon, as her own, and I think Yusuf probably sees it a little bit differently, and that's a perfect segue. Why don't we find a little bit more about Yusuf?
Yes, I play Dr. Zain Yusuf. He is a lab technician from the Novigrad station, and he was a stowaway on their ship. I guess what he says is he ran into some trouble or there was a lot of stuff happening that was very dangerous, and he just ran out of there and stowed away on the ship. And his main goal is just to research this weapon. He's more of a theoretical scientist, unlike Barnes. And I don't know, I feel like in this game that's the least useful type of person, but he's just obsessed with this weapon that Arden has, and just wants to research it for reasons you don't know.
I see that. It's definitely one of those games where you're like I'm a pilot. If we're not flying anything, you're like, what can I do here? It's just like but that's part of maybe the isolation or the isolating feel of it is, but perfect. I
have two revolvers now, so I can shoot twice.
There you go. Excellent. Well, why don't we go ahead and jump back in? I always feel like I'm missing something I was supposed to share. Let me just read any notes here. Okay.
Still have a head.
What's that? Oh yes, you still.
Yeah, we still have Hallrook. We have Hallrook,
who is now literally combined as a literally walking person. And there is another person on the ship named Rafa. He's the cooks and likes to drink a lot of tequila and makes drinks for everyone. Basically, the life of the party. He has a traumatic past. He is he was in the Colonial Marines. So he's seen some things, but he's kind of the muscle of the crew, but also the heart. I think it brings a lot of heart to the crew as well. So he's kind of just going to be in the background, because I think only Eddie can play himself, but he'll be here on the ship. And and what I'll just go ahead and do tonight is just kick off and just share our credits before we go ahead and get started. All right. right, so welcome everyone to episode 3 of our should be 5-part Alien series. Tonight is entitled The Puppet Master. We will kind of open tonight's session, kind of smash cutting right back on where we left off, on a very close shot of Joe's face as he's like, reared back on his butt, his hands kind of slipping in the water, beads of sweat rolling down his face, in complete shock and surprise. I mean, moments ago there were hails of bullets. He could have took a bullet to the brain, and now there's this almost 7-foot tall biomechanical creature that dripped some kind of goo on his uniform. What the hell is going on here? And then, Joe, what do you do?
And sorry, remind me, this thing is gone? Is it in the room with me?
It dropped down and it threw you off your balance, so you fell back, right? Whatever tool you had spilled out, and then it was crouching and it had leaned in really close. You saw the jowls open up, those metallic teeth, that slick dome going back almost 2 feet, and then it slowly rose and stood over you with a bit of that light, leering down from above, and then leaped up into those shadows, gangling against you, hearing those chains rattle as it scurried away into the darkness.
All right. Then yeah, like you said, just shook. I will slowly get up and, not wanting to take my eyes off the room, back towards the wall.
Yeah.
I want to get towards the closest place the closest intercom that I can get to.
And so you do have stress right now.
Yeah.
So you're backing away. You find the nearest intercom, and it's next to the rail, the climbing, the ladder, the metal ladders that take you up a deck. There's also a platform rig that almost like an elevator that goes up one level as well, that can be used as well. But the ladder's the closest thing there, and there is an intercom right there that you can patch in and talk to someone.
Okay. And I think probably the person that I'd be most sure of where they are would be Holiday. Like, Holiday spends time in the cockpit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I would kind of, mostly by feel, try to get the intercom going. And
so, yeah, and it's literally the slap of a button to get that radio. And so, as you're starting to radio to Holiday, you're now. I also want everyone to, while we're going to Holidays, maybe think about what you're doing right now, because the rest of you are probably relaxing or trying to relax after that last situation. You've been on the ship maybe an hour or two since you left. Holiday.
Yeah, Holiday's just chilling in the cockpit, feet up on the dash.
So what does she hear come over the radio? Joe?
So I'm still trying to be a little bit quiet, because I don't know where this thing went. Like, hey, Holiday, are you there?
Howdy. How can I help you?
Not too loud. I know we just got out of the shit, but there's something else in here.
I'm sorry, say again, something else in here?
It's something real big.
So
it was in here in the cargo bay with me.
Did it come out of the cargo? Do we have another Joe on our hands, or?
I don't know. I don't know where this thing went. It's not in here right now, as far as I can see. But
all right. Well, you say quiet. You don't want me to? Yeah, I can ping around. You contact Bonds. I'll see if I can find the scientists are down in the lab. All right, and then click around.
Yep. And so as she's clicking around, where do we find everyone else doing? I'll also remind you all, if you're looking at the top of the page in in Roll20. I know you all some of you took weapons from that last fight, and I imagine that we didn't really specify, unless you know in your notes. Do you guys all know actually how many reloads you have of those weapons? If you don't, then I'll probably roll for it, since you probably didn't take a large.
Like I do write that down.
I wrote something down.
Let me know if you wrote that down. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll step in. I just wanted to make sure you know the gear that you have on the Montero. On the Phoenix, and that is up at the top there. It's kind of like the standard equipment. So there is a M314 motion tracker. You've got the cutting torch. You've got the bolt gun. You've got a service pistol as well. It's always standard on a ship. You've got your harpoon grappling gun. You've got a incinerator with 2 reloads. The incinerator is basically the flamer, the flamethrower. And then you guys do have a power loader down there where Joe was at. That's how he moves the crates around. And then you've got your compression suits, enough compression suits for you guys if you need to go outside or if you need to escape. And then you all have the EEV, the escape pods, if the ship ever needed to be detonated or was going to be destroyed. So
I did write down 2 reloads per gun.
Okay, then that's what it is.
I recall, I grabbed 2 of the pulse rifles and I was going to hand one to whoever.
Yep. And then the reloads, the way they work in this game is like you don't really track rounds. If you roll a 1, like a panic, you run out of you run out of ammo. And then also whenever you do a full auto burst with any type of weapon, you take a stress, you go up, and that's also how you are more likely to roll a 1 at some point.
I have a staple suture gun.
Okay. Hey, there you go.
And a vial of acid. We'll see how this works out.
You guys were searching that laboratory.
Yeah, that's right.
Crazy.
I imagine Zane is probably like with Arden somewhere, trying to negotiate with her like sometime that I can like look at the weapon when she doesn't need it and try to like figure out like if I can just be alone with it for a bit for research purposes. I figure that's where I am. I don't know. I guess we'd be in the lab somewhere possibly.
So you do have.
Arden would absolutely be fine with you researching it as long as she can do so as well.
As long as you can use it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Holiday gets on the comm. Call in the lab. Come in, lab. Pick up.
And the lab is the med bay is probably like also doubles for the lab, so that I imagine that's where Yusef is. Rafa's in the galley eating, drinking as usual.
It's this button, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Joe has a story about the. Losing my train of thought. Joe says he saw something coming out of the cargo bay. It's not in the cargo bay anymore, which means it could be anywhere on the ship. So I need you guys at full alert for some kind of interloper. I don't know. He wasn't very specific.
What does he need?
I think he needs to find out where that thing is. I don't know if either of you can turn on some of this. I don't know if the med lab has like the scanners that we would need to check out the ship.
I'll look to Arden and be like, do you know? Maybe Barnes knows? Where's Barnes?
So yeah, Barnes isn't with you? Barnes isn't with you?
Barnes is sitting in the galley and she's tinkering with Halrook's interface to try to get him to operate a little less weird because he was a little disconnected. So that's what she tends to do in her free time, is just tinker with him to try to fix him up a little more. So I don't know.
Okay.
If,
and whatever
hear that in the galley.
As you're tinkering with him, there's a little pop and like a spark, and somewhere his vocal like a unit goes out, literally they can't speak. You don't get any voice coming from Halrook at the moment.
So muffled curses as she continues on.
Oh, why you keep messing with that? You just relax. That's Rafa. He's like, have a drink.
I am relaxed. And then she takes a drink.
Yeah. Where is Mr. Price?
Yeah, So Mr. Price would be walking. So as these kind of conversations are going on, he would be going to the galley as well because he needs a drink. But he is walking with the gun in his hand. Kind of, he's kind of floating between like I don't want to see this, but it's a part of me now, because that's all he has left from his suitcase that he left behind. So he's just kind of walking with that, and he'll end up at the 100%. He kind of just walks into the galley, looks over at Barnes and Rafa, and nods at them, and then just kind of puts the gun on the counter and pours himself a drink and sits to the counter and just watching them, but his eyes aren't really there, like he's just kind of looking past them.
Barnes kind of looks over at the gun, looks at Rafa, and is kind of like, the heck's with the gun? But just looking at him.
Okay, maybe I'll take a walk. I'll head over to the galley.
Yeah,
actually,
Joe didn't want anyone to. He didn't want us to get on the overhead, so I guess we're trying to keep it under wraps for now in case that thing knows we're aware that it's here.
Yusuf, before you take that walk,
okay.
Can you give me an observation check, since you were studying the weapon?
Sure. But I don't have any stress right now, right?
At the moment, you do not have any stress.
Alrighty. That is 1-6.
1-6. Okay. And so, so far, what you understand, you've been able to realize that the weapon almost looks like a pod, like a very slick pod. And you were able to, from your studies and fiddling with it, it opened up. I hate to make this comparison because it's such like kind of whimsical, but it's like a darker, more sleek version of that gun from The Fifth Element, the pod thing that opens up. And so it looks something like, actually, I think I might be able to share very quickly what you're seeing here. Hold on a second. And so when it kind of organically like folds and changes, it's huge on the table. It's almost, almost hard for you to, if you were to try to figure out how to actually hold the thing, it would be pretty heavy in your hand. It'd be like it almost feels like the weight of kind of like a rocket launcher, but you could do it. A human can make it work. It seems like it was, and then there seems to be like a trigger, but there's no actual trigger on it, right? It looks like a grip and a handle in an area where a trigger would be on a weapon. I'm going to share my screen here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's what this thing looks like. And so now that it's opened up, and then weird in there, that inner area just kind of looks kind of organic. When you touch it, it's hard. The whole thing is very cold and sleek, but then that's that weird area almost, and when it opened up, it almost seems like that section moved almost like a gel and then hardened on its own. When you see this, I don't know if there's anything else, but from that one success, that is what you're able to, from the time that you've been spending, you've gotten to this point.
I'll kind of show that to Arden and just kind of be like, you see this? It's almost biological. Look at this. And kind of show her a little bit about that and where the trigger is. Would I be able to help her kind of know how to use it more effectively with that information, or probably not?
With spending some more time, with your one success, I think that you have this idea that you probably, if you could spend another shift, somewhere between 6 and 8 hours with it, you feel like you could find another breakthrough. But you would need some time. For example, if you would have rolled more successes, then maybe there would have been much bigger breakthrough, but it's just going to take some time now. So I don't know if he's like now he's taking that walk because he needs a coffee break, or up to you.
Yeah, I'll say, this thing, we might be able to do a lot with this. It's got a lot of features. I'll just need a little more time with it, but I promise it'll be worth it. And then I'll go take a walk to the galley, which I think is right there, right?
Smack dab center in the where you see everybody kind of chunked. Right. So
Holiday might check back in with the cargo area to see if Joe's still there, and just let him know the good doc is on his way to go find Barnes.
Oh yeah, everybody's here. Kind of Rafa's like looking at you all. Everybody's kind of gathering around.
Hey, Barnes. Holiday mentioned that Joe he's in the cargo area and he saw something in there. Just wondering if you could check.
What kind of something?
Didn't get much of a description. Just didn't. It sounded like something big.
And Joe, you're still standing down there next to the comp.
Okay, so.
Okay. I'm asking you. I was asking that because I didn't know it. It didn't seem like it seems like you had called in the holiday, but you were just kind of still. Have you started making your way back?
I would, yeah. I don't want to be there by myself. I think I would. I should have my cutting torch.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have that at the ready, and I'm gonna slowly, quietly, make my way back to the crew deck.
Can you make a mobility check?
I don't want to, but I have anything in mobility? Oh, geez. No, I don't. Okay. And I have 1 stress now, correct? Or do I have more than that for seeing the thing?
You just have 1 right now.
Okay. I rolled a 1, apparently.
Yeah.
In the stress die.
Well, what's funny is that makes sense because I probably should have made you, when you saw the alien, you automatically take a panic check. So the fact that he probably should have took a panic check, and I just thought about that. So the 1 is that reason. So go ahead and give me a panic check. You probably will pass, but what is it? It's anything 7 or under, you're going to be fine. Anything over that, you'll roll on that. Which let me even pull my chart up. I didn't even.
I rolled a 2 + 1, so I'm keeping it together.
Okay, so your nerves are starting to shake. You're like, keep it together, Joe. And you make your way back. Everyone else is there, kind of talking like, "What's this thing about?" And then suddenly, Joe comes down the hall from the below decks and clearly looks unnerved. Yeah. And he's there.
And also trying to remember things on Furina 161. I did see the xenomorph, or did I get like a glimpse of it?
You saw. I don't know if so. I know that Barnes, your character, sure. You saw the engineer for sure. I'm not sure if you saw the alien. If I can't even remember back, because the alien was killing Eddie's character, and I think Barnes was that Barnes, that was your character you played there. So you saw that creature, right?
So are you talking about on
the water station? Yeah.
So I was in the med bay when the face hugger came out, and then I think in the main area there was the guy that came out and was like killing everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's how I think we lost the doctor at that point. And then we were able to like flood the whole thing
and the face, well, the thing that came out of him, the strange thing is that it came out big. It like burst out like almost full size, and then you guys escaped. So you all have seen these horrific things before between anyone who was down there. And so I think Joe's eyes are very telling, like, man, here we go again kind of deal. Even though the thing that you saw is not exactly the same thing that you saw down there. I think even if you would have saw it, Joe, it would have been a slightly different, but it would have definitely harkened back all the feelings of, that thing is hostile. And
that I don't even know how to describe it over the intercom, but it's big, it's weird looking. It was on me in a second and then gone. I don't know.
Is he in the galley with
Yeah,
us?
he's in the galley. You guys should be in the galley now. Because if you were going back, you made it back. So imagine everybody's in the galley.
So what did you see? He just came in and told us that you saw something.
Yeah.
What did you see?
Yeah, it was this big creature. It was like real tall, but kind of lanky. And I don't know, it had the head was kind of long and smooth, kind of curved back. It's kind of spiky.
He says it was a big creature. I'm going to the panel to see if I can scan for anything on that deck. Just gonna start scanning.
Okay. You want to give me a Comtech check?
I got 4 6s.
Okay.
I get a lot of dice for Comtech.
And are there any? Does the Comtech allow you to ask any questions? I didn't really pull up my. Just realized I didn't.
Pull up.
With the extra questions. I actually realize I also have them here in Roll20. So. Cheat sheet.
So Comtech is stunned.
I see. Okay.
+1 to a later related roll. Don't need to overcome again. Half the usual time. New unexpected information. Hide your tracks or show off.
So then, I think what might be best, you can apply +1 to
information if you have any.
So what you find is that the ship is not really set up to, well, it's set up enough to scan warm-blooded objects like your creatures like yourselves. It doesn't exactly pinpoint them, but it will tell you what's on the floor. Right now, you're not getting any readings. That extra information might be because the creature may not be giving off the same the signals as you would. So maybe that's it. Also, the only and it would just, like I said, it would just read and tell you if there's something there. So it's not giving that off. The only other thing you could use is the motion tracker, which has a radius, a certain, short range effect, which you would actually have to move hallway to hallway, move through the ship, or, move through the vents to try to find the general location of something like this. That would be motion tracking, which that would pick up any movement, but not necessarily.
Can I also tap into the comm systems to see if I can hear anything in the various locations, sort of open up a comm and see if I can hear movement?
Okay.
To help pinpoint as well.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be harder. That'll be -2 to your comm tech.
Can I use any of my bonuses from the last one?
Yeah, you can use one of your bonuses from the...
Okay. So, comm tech again. Okay. And is it just +1 dice?
It's just +1
dice? Okay, so
it's really
-1 total, right?
-1 now, yep.
Okay, I got 1 6 that time.
Okay. So your success, it's something that could work, but it's going to take you some time to get the audio feedback from wherever there are speakers in the ship. They aren't everywhere. So you're pretty much setting this thing up. It's going to take you another hour to set up. By the time it's set up, you'll just get static feedback if you hear anything out of the ordinary, it'll register back to where you've set this up in the galley. So Barnes is in the middle of setting that up and working on it, working on setting up. I will say, to complete the process to Barnes, here's the thing. It's easy for you to do on the bridge. The main deck is almost set now. But to complete it, you'll have to go down and do a little tinkering on levels like B and C to complete it. You wouldn't even have to necessarily roll again. You just have to go to those levels to kind of plug some wires and change some things around so that it works the way you want.
So, I mean, I was thinking more along the lines of like, and maybe the comm system doesn't do this, and maybe that's why I have to do this. I was thinking more like, okay, I'm going to open up a comm to this room and listen for a little bit and see if I hear anything.
Oh, I see. So you're just making the comms just go. Yeah.
Sort of going one by one to see if I can hear movement.
Okay. So if you were to do that, then that's fine. That's much easier. That's the normal, probably take you like about the hour to do, but you're literally just going to be sending out a signal, kind of pinging those comms to turn on the speaker wherever they are. And on those lower levels, they're right there so it's not going to have a very wide range. It's going to basically whatever it is. If someone was standing right, like within 15 feet, 20 feet of the comm, you would pick up something.
Okay.
And if you look on your map, there are like the comms little signals. They look like a little actually I think the comm is the one that looks like a little round with like the 4 dots in the middle of it. If I'm not, let me look at the.
Do I know whether going to the mother would help?
These are comms, yeah.
With the functionality.
So you guys have a comms in the galley, comms here. If you go to mother, it's possible that could help. The only person that has access to mother is Jarvis or Yarvis.
Okay, well, I'll try to get just go through and see if I can hear anything on each of them, and then see what I can find.
You hit the one in the cockpit call. It is like, so should I go where are you guys right now? No offense, but I don't exactly want to be alone right now if there's something on the ship.
All in the galley.
All right, be there in 5. Turn the comm off and join everyone in the galley.
So Yarvis arrives in the galley. So you're just going through. You're not going to talk to mother. You're just going through right now, doing that, Barnes, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that first, but that's a possible thing that I do next if needed.
Whatever Yarvis is drinking, while we're waiting for this to happen, I'm just going to walk over and help myself.
Nice.
I was like, oh, we're drinking. Great. Love that.
It's about that time, yeah.
Yeah. So this thing you saw, what are the chances that it was already on the ship before we docked last time?
Hard to say. I mean, what hasn't been, no offense, Doctor, but what hasn't been stolen aboard this ship?
Yeah, this would be the time Tom, right? This would be the third Tom.
Yeah.
Could just be another, poor stowaway.
Yeah, but I mean, we know that weird stuff was happening, where we stopped. So Carter came on then. They didn't talk about a giant monster killing people. It was more just people acting strange. But I don't know.
It could just be one of those android things, right?
Oh, wait.
No. No, it was not
also,
that.
Malcolm, didn't we establish last time that whatever the thing that was happening to the miners in the colony, it was happening because they were using like a drug that had queen jelly in it?
Yes. Now I don't know. Did any of our scientists uncover that, or did I share that meta? I wonder.
I think no. I think I remember this because we ended up using Hallrook because both Hallroyd and Rook have had interactions with aliens before, and it was like Rook's medical brain situation.
Yes. Okay. So that makes sense. So it is so you do understand, wonder how that might connect here, but you do remember that the zip, the drug, that was making people lose it after using it for too long experience times, making them start to go crazy, does have a part of it that's part of the alien kind of genome or DNA in the substance.
I mean, we don't know where they were getting that aspect of the drug from.
Yeah.
You know, whether they were bringing it in with the rest of the shipment or whether it was coming from that place.
You do also remember that different people who had died on that station had different kind of weird stories. Those people who had committed suicide, one guy thought that he had spiders crawling in his suit, so he decompressed when he opened his chamber. He opened his suit while he was mining outdoors. Another one who died, you remember hearing his story, but he was in the med bay moments before the shootout, or around that, sometime before that, who was saying that was claiming he had he killed himself with a shotgun, but he was claiming that he had something living in his chest or in his stomach. That was something that was shared. So maybe Holiday recalls that now. Rafa was like, so wait, what's going on here? Because I don't think Rafa wasn't down there in the he doesn't know any of this about you all in the water base. Yusuf is from a whole nother, so Yusuf doesn't really know what's going on. Yarvis doesn't really know what's going on. So there's a lot of kind of weird talk between some of these characters, and I think Rafa's like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, what are you talking about? Something big is down there. Big like a dog, big like.
Nah, man,
dome
way
head,
bigger than a dog. Like a lot taller than you, a lot bigger than you.
Oh,
and fast.
Like how Rome, then we're gonna have to kill it.
Yeah, well, you're the specialist there, man. I mean,
we'll have to think. Is it big enough to? Well, if it's down there, we could try to.
If you say vent the cargo, I swear that there's going to be issues with us really quick.
All right, we can't. That would be the easiest way.
I mean, can we tie it down first, then just open the door?
I'm curious. No offense, Joe. I'm curious that this thing didn't just like take a chomp out of you immediately.
I'm curious myself, but I don't want to go back down there. It's not alone.
Perhaps it's friendly.
That's what I'm thinking.
Perhaps.
Well, boss, you can go check.
Oh,
I'll go with him.
Barnes, can I get an observation check from Barnes? She's listening to those. Do
we have any stress yet?
Not yet. Other than Joe, who at this point it's been about 10 minutes. So Joe, you're starting to calm down. That stress goes away.
I didn't get any successes.
Okay. So you're going through and you just keep, open up the intercoms. It's kind of like a static feed that you hear. And you're listening for any movement. You're listening for pipes that, clang, this thing breeze, breath, hit, anything, and you're not hearing it. So she continues to kind of going level by level. Nothing yet.
Could be hiding, could be sleeping, could be wounded.
Now, Yusuf, did you leave the gun back in the med bay or the big?
Yeah, with Arden.
Okay, with Arden. So Arden's in there looking at it right now. Once Arden gets here, she can make her own.
I mean, at least she's armed, right?
Check. Yeah.
You made it home. She should be connecting soon.
Nice.
Good. We might need that.
I mean, I want to make sure that big ass gun doesn't just blow through the wall too.
Oh,
it could be a bad thing. But
suddenly there's a ding 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 at the end of the hall. You hear it behind the door, kind of like you see the white padded hall behind me. There's a doorway. When that slides open, there's another door on the other side of it where you see where I'm pinging on roll 20, which is where Now, Joe could have came up through either of these hatchways, either of those, but it sounds like it came from down there. This is the door that slides open before you get there.
Are you guys seeing what he's? I can't.
I'm
see.
not seeing the. I'm not seeing the
Oh,
ping.
let me. Oh, you know what else? I don't have it on the object layer. Okay, so now you should see the ping. So you're in the galley. You're hearing a sound from down here. These ladders go to the lower levels. You see, there's a ladder there as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a doorway here, and there's a doorway here. So with these doors closed, you wouldn't see what's behind that door. And then you see everything's kind of like that white padded wall behind me. Joe could have came up on either of these. Joe can tell me which one he came up behind, but he hears like the clanging, like sounds like almost like a bottles or metal canisters moving.
Somebody want to check? Maybe he's thirsty.
Let's go find this pet of yours, and Jarvis will walk we're in the direction where he heard the noise, leaving the gun behind.
Follow. Oh no, Holiday's taking her gun. She has her. She has her pistols with her.
I'd imagine I wouldn't have been carrying around the rifle, so I probably don't have it right now.
I mean, I'm sure this is a time where you start thinking about grabbing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to go get it, but
yeah, it's like, do you want to leave this room? Yeah, you guys are like Scooby-Doo stalking through the hall. So Jarvis is taking the lead, like heading over here. So Jarvis, as you all hear that, you all get one stress just hearing the sound. Jarvis is kind of walking. Does he have anything in his hands?
No.
No.
He's not too concerned about this dog that Joe keeps talking about.
So that door opens, and give me an observation check, Jarvis.
So where would the ship's weapons be?
It's a good question. Like the stuff that I went over, like at the top. I imagine that you guys keep that stuff, motion trackers, cutting torch, the bolt gun. I'm willing to say it makes sense that it's all in like a storage locker on the bridge, like near Mother. I'm sure the gun and the flamer, like you need like a key, like a 2-thing key to open up. Like 2 people have to twist at the same time to unlock it, so somebody doesn't just go crazy and grab it. But everything else is like just a normal, like a tool that you would have, and so those were just they're available like on the bridge, so basically right behind you. Because if you're in the galley, then the bridge is right behind you by 30-40 paces. So now Jarvis is essentially standing in this hall, this little round octagonal type, room. And of course there's a hole in the ground, a very dark hole and a metal railing where you climb out. And there is a bunch of, all around that room also is where where some of the suits, your suits are hanging. And there's like canisters, like air canisters, and a couple of those have toppled over. What did you roll for your observation?
So I got two sixes and a stress 1.
Okay. Oh, so you got a stress. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you step into that room, you see the clink, like the thing, like one of them is like rolling on the floor. And you see a bit of a shadow, and as you look up, you can see that one of the panels in the ceiling is open, and a black tail, kind of slithers its way up. You saw it for like a second. No one else even behind you saw it, but you saw it. You know you did, and the panel is just like open there in the ceiling, and you swore you could hear like the thing breathing, and then it slithers away.
So what does the stress do for me?
So then you got 1, which means that you're gonna panic. So you're gonna roll on the panic chart. You're gonna see what that's gonna be.
What page is it in the book?
Yep. In the book, actually, I'm looking at it here on
another screen.
Roll20.
Roll20. It's
Oh,
under cheat. You can on Roll20. You can go to the cheat sheet number 3,
Nice.
and it's right there. So you roll a d6 and add your current stress level. So at this point, you were 1, so you're gonna roll a 6 and add, and then it's the only time in the game where you actually add the numbers together. 7 or up, something weird happens.
I got a 6, so I'm keeping it together.
All right. Shit. So you just saw that. What do you do?
I'll stop in my tracks and start. Whoever is like the second person right behind me, I'm gonna like walk backwards. Kind of, I'll stop, and then kind of like start shifting backwards. And whoever is right behind me, I'm probably gonna run, like bump into them.
Hey. What is it?
We should go back to the alley. The galley, sorry.
Going back fast or going back?
Just calm. Just.
What did you see?
I'm just gonna like push past and like keep going into the galley.
Holiday will like follow, but she's like turning over her shoulder to try and like squint, like what's out there? What did I see? What did he see?
Well, I didn't get a sense of the size, but the tail seems large. And I guess Joe's dog is real. Unless we all took that drug.
Unless you and Joe, so far it's only been the 2 of you.
So once Barnes heard that sound, she's gonna grab Joe and head over to where the weapons are in the bridge area. Because we need to start, because we've seen things like this of some sort, and we clearly did not volunteer to go there. So I think we would want to be going to get the closest weapons, which appear to be the ones probably whatever is still left there in the bridge area.
And we'll so as you guys are rushing there to the bridge, Arden, you're still in the med lab. Katarina, can you give me an observation check?
Maybe I have to get my dice out.
Okay. All right. We'll keep going. Yeah. Just let me know after you roll. We don't have to hinge on, on her, but yeah, when you get a chance, roll that. Barnes
behind them as well.
You're behind them. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll follow.
So as you guys are going in here and grabbing these weapons, like what are you grabbing? What are you like? Who's grabbing what? And talk to me.
I'll just see them doing that and be like, you think we need this?
I think we need something.
We need
anything you recommend for something small maybe? Or
I mean, I'm going for the big one, but you take what you want.
All right, let me look.
So I'm really quick. The motion tracker. I'm just starting to hand things off. I want to keep the motion tracker and the service pistol. I'm not a big gun person. I'm a stealthier person, but I want to know where it is.
I got 0 6s, by the way.
Okay.
Guess I'll grab the cutting torch. Is that what okay.
Or incinerator.
Go for it, yeah. If no one's
really
going
used
for
it before,
it,
but okay.
So you're grabbing the cutting torch or the incinerator?
The cutting. What is the incinerator? Incinerator. What does that look like?
Incinerator.
Is that really big or small?
It's a.
You would go for a small.
It's a flamethrower. So it's kind of like a you hold it like a chew weapon, like an assault weapon. It's got a little canister, almost like a super soaker, like the canister where the water would be. That's just like a metal canister for the flammable fluid.
Oh right, yeah. Now I can see it.
They should just call it a flamethrower, but it's incinerator.
Yeah, I was thinking, flamethrower. yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like Joe would grab the incinerator.
Yeah, that went for the big one.
Yeah, go for it.
I like Yusuf was picking it up, and then Joe's just snatches it out of his hands, just
Yeah, that's too heavy for me.
Like you're gonna hurt somebody with that. Like, give me that.
I know what things not to torch on here.
Cutting torch.
Did you guys just walk out on us when we were saying that the dog was there, or how did that transpire?
I think
when you guys decided to go forward
as you went forward,
you went backwards because as soon as we heard the sound, we went to get the weapons. So
got it. So we went back to an empty galley.
Meeting back at about the same time.
Yeah, we would probably meet up at the same time.
Yeah.
And I still have basically a grappling gun that nobody's taken. So anybody want it?
A grappling gun?
I think there's also a bolt gun.
Sure.
So
I'll take that.
Yeah, because everybody should be armed.
All right.
So Arden, what does it look like as you're working in the med bay? What are you looking at? What are you looking for? What are you trying to better understand about the weapon? I know you were coming home, so I don't know if you got a good look at the weapon when I showed it, or if you understand it kind of looks like a gun. So what is there? Yeah, talk to me about, maybe try to give me some more flair of what she's been doing while, in the moments while this has been transpiring.
So, she'd just be trying to play with it as much as possible to get as much insight into what it does, how it works, what the components to it are, anything like that, just trying to understand it a little better.
And it's that shot it's on the white table, the room is pristine white, out of focus, right behind over her shoulder. Something dark and black is slowly dropping down into the room. I don't know if she's just not paying attention, or she's just really caught up, or she's listening to music on these little pods, or whatever it is, but she doesn't hear it. Can she give me another observation check? This is not for the thing that's behind her, but to see if she's understood anything more about said weapon since. And this will be with no stress. This is just to see if because right now you don't have the stress.
I got 3 6s.
Okay. What do you want to do with your stunts for your observation? You want to... so there is... I can give you some success, but what I'll say about it is... Let's see. So you got 3 6s. So you needed 2 6s. 2 6s satisfy what I needed for you to find something. You've got 1 extra 6 to spend on a stunt. With the 2 6s, what you understand is that the finger grip, or where something puts that large finger there, it seems to not have a trigger because it seems to be like biometric, almost like it activates on almost like on a creature's fingerprint. Now you can use your stunt to maybe ask me a further question about that I might be able to help with something else.
That means I need to think of a question.
Yep. If you don't want to eat, but if you want to, based on what I shared with you, if you want to kind of ask something that furthers that conversation, you can.
Will it work for my fingerprint or a human fingerprint?
That is a good question. And Arden wasn't down there. Arden's never seen an engineer, so only the other people know that they're humanoids. So I can't answer that affirmative. I think that she's curious enough to where I guess she could try. Would she put her finger on it or no?
Probably not yet, because she doesn't know the effect that it'll have.
Mm-hmm.
So not yet.
Okay. I need a stamina roll from you.
Two sixes.
2 6s. Okay. So as you're like looking at the weapon, you suddenly hear you hear something. You hear something lurking behind you, and as you turn, that creature is looming over you. And its tail is slithering up like your backside, like along your spine, and then you feel something like you feel a jab, and you drop the weapon, and you kind of sprawl forward. You roll 2 6s. Those 2 6s mean like you slowly starting to feel your body lock up. Those are how many rounds you have before like you feel like you're going in and out. As this is happening to you, there's a comm like on the wall. I don't know if you want to try to get to it. The creature is just standing there, kind of watching you move. Would you go for the comm?
Probably.
Okay. You do have. Actually, you also need to give me a panic check. And if you survive, so with 1 panic, if you survive this, you will have 2 panic. You'll have 2 stress die going forward.
Yeah, I rolled low enough.
Okay, so you rush forward with that. Since you didn't panic, you slam the intercom as it goes off. I mean, what do you say? Like you got like probably a moment's notice to say what you're hearing or what's, it's probably like, I don't know if it's just a scream. What does she do?
Alien in the med bay. Abort.
Thing just kind of turns this kind of ichor, clear, almost like oil, just running out of its mouth, and it slowly leans down and starts to pick up the weapon. As it does, the weapon goes and closes up, and the creature's like cradling it, like holding it, and slowly starting to stand back up. Since you hear this, everyone go ahead and we'll pull initiative cards really quick as this creature is standing here. Uh-oh, my computer froze for a second. Okay, give me 1 second here. So this will dictate like how we move, I guess, for here until this creature is gone or not.
Of all the things I thought would happen, the alien gets the predator gun was not on that list.
But you said it wasn't like it just cradled.
No, it's just holding it. It's not holding.
Okay,
like
it's not like loading. Like
when it picks it up, the thing closes. The gun closes back up like a pod. So now it no longer looks like a gun, and the creature's just almost holding it, cradling it like it's a pod, like it's an egg. It's more of a elongated egg shape, right? That it turns into when it locks up. No, it's definitely not like now I'm gonna blow you away.
That's not at first I was like, what?
Oh man. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do for this, because it's always kind of funky. I'm gonna look at someone and draw a card, and that's the number you have, and then we'll put them in order. So I'll go around. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Arden. You are initiative 1, which is actually good, meaning you get to act first. So record that, because I'm not recording these right now. Maybe somebody can put them in the chat or something like that and help me out. Yarvis, you are initiative 7. Holiday, you are initiative 10. Yusuf, you are initiative 2. Joe, you are initiative 6. Everyone will also take a stress because they just heard alien in the med bay. And Barnes, you are initiative 4. The creature has 2 initiative cards, and it will be, oh wow, the creature got bad there. The creature is both 8 and 9. So it's slowly moving here. And so we'll kick off starting this round with, I think that's gonna be Arden. So there's a moment as the creature's moving slowly that you're able to react. I don't know if you're trying to get the hell out of there. What do you do?
Give me like 1 sec. I'm typing the
yeah. And I can always come back to you
in
too.
order.
Yeah. And then what I'll also do here is for the sake of a token, now the alien is actually on the board in the med bay with Arden. And so normally, as you guys know, you can make your fast actions, your slow actions. Your move counts as one of your fast actions, or you can move twice. The movements are like, I kind of have them here like these like hexagonal spaces. Those are how we'll break up, moving this within the spaces on the board. But yeah, so you guys hear that. Chills run down your spine.
All right. So the order is in the chat. Let me know if I've forgotten.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, I've got a pistol. I'm gonna try and just shoot it. So drop the weapon and take some damage. I don't remember how to.
So you're pulling the pistol on you, that you have, shooting at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your ranged attack.
What do the bonuses for the
bonuses for a weapon, for a ranged weapon? Whenever it's usually damage is like the biggest thing you're going to probably use is to do extra damage. For each success over the first one, you can add more damage than what the weapon does. So I'm looking at ranged here.
It's like the pistol I have it written that it's got range medium, damage 1, but it says bonus +2. Is that for dice or for?
The bonus is for the dice. Yes, so you get a +2 to your ranged for that weapon. Yep, I'm looking at the card right here because I got the little playing cards. It's it's Oh, you must have the.
This was like my original pistol from forever ago.
And it was a bonus 2.
That's just what I have written down.
Okay. Nope. The pistol should only be a bonus 1. But what does it say? Maybe if it's a revolver, the damage is 2. If it's a regular service pistol, the damage is 1.
I have no idea.
I have the M4A3 pistol, and that bonus has 2 as well.
Oh, okay. The bonus is 2, so maybe it's the M. Okay,
yeah,
so then
and I have the Magnum. That's also a +2.
Okay.
No, okay, cool. I just didn't have it any sort of like specification.
So the Magnum is a +2. Why is it? See on the card, it's a +1. the official cards, they're like, okay, so yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I have service pistol bonus +2 damage 1.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Cool. At least it's not just me.
Maybe they changed them. They were like, these are too high. These bonuses are too high. I don't know. Okay, we'll go with the +2. All right, so you go ahead and make your shot.
I got 1-6. No panic.
All right, so no panic as the you start to take off a shot. And now here's the thing. Also, you're not full autoing the shot. You're just kind of like taking selective shots, right?
Like taking aim.
So you take aim and fire. The creature armor I think after playing long enough, I would know these by heart, but probably because we don't play as often. Just want to make sure I'm using the right armor. Okay, got it. Get to roll a lot of dice as a GM in this game. So you're like, you literally hit this thing square in the chest, and the bullet like kind of bounces off, ricochets off of like the chest plate on it, and it starts to open its mouth and bare its teeth. These teeth look literally like metal. They shine and glisten, and you're seeing this thing in the pure, in full light. You have a that was your slow action to shoot. You have a fast action. You can move. You can also use a fast action to aim for now on if you guys like to get a better shot or to. But yeah, I don't know what you want to do with your fast action. Run, grab, drive, draw. You've already drawn your weapon. So you drew your weapon and you shot.
Yeah.
So that's where your turn ends. Okay. So as we go from, you guys all hear that shot ring out now. Yusuf, you're probably you're on your way back, getting from the weapons room. So you guys are kind of like right there, coming into the galley. And so if you're you're a decent amount away, but I don't know what you want to do.
I feel like, okay, so you'd hear the gunshot from there. It's like, look around, be like,
and sorry, let me cut you. I'm gonna say, because of the way I know these rooms are actually set up, I'm going to make each space on the board. So when you take a fast action to move, you can move two spaces. If you're looking at roll, if you care about that, if you're looking at roll 20, does that make sense?
Okay.
You see the little overlaid spaces. So when you make a run action, you're going to move two of those spaces for each run action.
I see. Okay. So I won't be able to make it there this turn even if I try to go in that direction. I'll start going in that direction though, I think.
So 1-2 gets you through the galley, and then another, it gets you like, I'm moving Yarvis. You should be, if you guys are all like right around the top of the room, 1-2.
Somewhere like in the middle between.
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to, like, if I eventually get to that corner there, just kind of look around it versus try to go right into the room.
Okay. As this is happening, okay. We moved to whoever was number 4, which I think that was that Holiday? Barnes? Okay.
So the alien is in the med bay, right?
Yes.
Okay. And unfortunately James is in there with it. Okay. I was trying to think if we can trap it in there in some way, and I don't know if there's a way to, like, if the ship would have a way of like disinfecting a room, or even decompressing that area if we needed to get rid of it.
I think it would be very difficult to do it from where you're at in the time but you can try it. Suddenly over the
while James is in there, but I'm just trying to think of, if there's a way to deal with it a little bit better. For now, I'm going to start heading down. Let's see. So it looks like there's 2 ways to get there, right? Through the galleys down, or to the, to the left. And what room is that that's next to the galley on the left?
This one?
Yeah.
Or that's essentially just another one of these rooms that lead to the lower decks. It's like a little octagonal room where the suits and supplies are on the way to. So it's basically where the ladder is. There's a hole in the floor to go down.
Okay, I'm gonna move that direction going toward the med bay. I don't know how far I can get.
Right about there, right to that room.
Okay. And then it looks like there's a panel here. Can I start looking at the options to close off that room?
Which room are you trying to close off?
Well, I don't want to close it off until James is out, but I might want to close off that med bay to trap it in there.
Okay.
But I want to start tapping into the computer and seeing what the options are as far as anything that I might use to be able to trap it and injure it in that room.
So there is a computer there, so you can start pecking away at the keys. Give me a -1 Comtech.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. So you're trying to make it a delayed reaction, but since you're not there, how can you tell when Arden is out, right? Or so are you setting it up so that when you see Arden, you're going to close it? Because if you do it and you succeed now and you slam it shut, then Arden's inside.
Right. So right now I'm trying to figure out what the options are.
Okay.
So because I don't know, like if we trap it inside, then it's still in there. But since it is the med bay, there might be, some options to like disinfect the room that might flame it all up. I mean, like, I don't know what the options are. So I'm trying to sort of assess what I can do from that location in that room.
Got it. Okay. So I think that from your room, there's no like cameras where you could see. I think you can actively close the door. The only thing you could do is have it start to like close at a slower, like close slower so that Arden has a chance to get out before it locks. Mm-hmm. This is all provided that you even successfully do this. So it would be delayed. I just don't know how.
Well, basically,
if you succeed, it works. If you don't,
wouldn't necessarily be a timed thing. It would just be going in and then knowing that I can maybe trick it out so that once I hit the button, all of the doors will shut. So
okay. If you fail, then they shut automatically.
Now?
Yes. So you try it and you fail, they shut. You trigger them. Your choice though. I mean, there's got to be that's what the possibility of. That's what could go wrong.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I have a lot of dice here.
Okay.
And I'm -1, right?
You're -1.
I got 1-6.
Got 1-6. Okay. So with that 1-6, the door that Arden is going for slides open, and as it does, Arden, it immediately it's just open, and you now have the ability to close it on command, Barnes. If that ends Barnes' turn, then at the initiative 5 counter, which I don't think anyone has, over the intercom, Yarvis hears a common ping. Mother requesting officer to Mother requests officers attention, something like that rings out. And these like little yellow lights just kind of start flashing in all the rooms. Other than that, who's at number 6?
I think that's me.
All right, Joe, what do you do?
I'm going to, so I'm on the bridge. I'm going to head the same direction that Barnes went. So I don't want her to be alone in that direction. I don't think I can make it that far though.
So I'll put you. I'll kind of assuming everybody's like right in the middle. So I'll put you right to like as far as Yusuf got, unless you're going. Oh, you're going towards Barnes.
I was towards Barnes. Yeah,
got it. So you'll get right in the same room with Barnes.
Okay.
I'll just put you off to the side so you guys can see each other. But yeah, you're in there.
Okay.
that room.
Yeah. And I was looking through the action. I forget. I'm also terrible. With fast and slow actions, can you take 2 fast actions, or do you have to do 1 fast and 1 slow?
You can take you can do 1 fast and 1 slow, and I do think you can take 2 fast actions because it's the same reason why you can run twice, or which would double your movement. So yeah, you can take 2 fast actions.
Yeah.
That's unless Henry says otherwise, because he's my rule lawyer. for all 3 league games, for some reason, like.
No, you can do 2 fast.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to get in there, and then once there, I believe set Overwatch is a fast action. So I was going to get ready with the incinerator in case something comes towards us.
Got it. Okay. So he brings up the gun, turns on the little flame, sparks to life. All right. As he's watching the corridor in front of him, about 15 feet away, that door's closed. There's a little glass window, so you would probably see it approaching before it slides open. We move to initiative 7, whatever that was.
That's me.
Okay.
So in the galley I know Holiday's in there, but was it just and Rafa?
Yeah, Rafa is he's gone, and he's grabbed a pulse rifle as well. And is moving forward. So I'm just gonna put Rafa like where Yusuf is. Stalking Hall's kind of tries to get Yusuf to step back. He steps in front of him and is like slowly, methodically working his way down that hall.
Sheesh, because that alert went out. Because I was in the middle of telling Holiday about what I saw, and everyone was kind of in transit. I'm gonna grab my gun and start heading, because where Barnes is, Katerina is, I'm gonna go where Joe is.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that way I still don't know which way I'm going if I'm going to go to.
So you rush into the room. You're in that little small room with Joe. You see Barnes hacking away on the computers. Like she's like her fingers hovering over a button. Joe's aiming the incinerator at the wall or at the door. That's what you see. What do you do?
Joe, you're facing south, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna look down the hallway to where Joe is, and then seeing nothing, I'll walk towards the bridge.
Okay, so he turns back. So Holiday, now you've seen Jarvis run out of the room and then come back, like he's trying to get towards the bridge. You're up, I believe that puts, is it a Holiday?
I'm at 10.
Oh, you're at 10. So then who's at 7?
Sorry, 7 was Jarvis.
That was Jarvis.
Creature.
Creature
goes twice.
So
lovely.
So after this round, Jarvis, Arden, you're starting to feel almost like you're poisoned, like you're delusional as you're moving. Your vision's getting blurry. You see the thing kind of like hissing, kind of moving back and forward, kind of elegantly, and then it leaps up into the ceiling, holding the gun or the weapon under its arm, going back up into the vents and scattering away with both of its turns. Holiday.
Well, Holiday doesn't know that thing's up in the vents, so Holiday is following Yusuf and Rafa.
Yep.
Gonna go join the kerfuffle in the hallway.
So running down. So Jarvis, Holiday. Actually, I was gonna step in at the end of the initiative tracker for this, but it might give you something to do here on this turn. Suddenly, as you are about to do that, you can still commit to that. You hear the whoop, whoop, like some kind of like whatever the alert noise on the bridge that lets you know there's an approaching ship.
Ooh, my baby, no. To the bridge. To the bridge. Pilot time. Let's go.
So as you rush in there and you look, you can see on your transponder that there is a beacon of a ship approaching at extreme distance, but nonetheless it's out there.
Like a beacon, like just normal ship. They're not like hailing us. They're not.
And
vision coursing
you
us.
start to realize they are hailing you, and then a message comes through, and it's all being kind of typed, and the message is for you to drop your velocity, keep your velocity at 2, to allow them to board, and the rest of the message I will only send to you.
Okay, this isn't like a whale and Yutani ship. These aren't the boss people. These are.
It doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
Hold on here.
What's the name of our ship again? Sorry that I forgot.
The Phoenix.
Phoenix.
So you see it there? It's about 8 spaces now away from you. It's just appeared. It's I don't know if you guys see me pinging it here. Here you are. Let me see if I'm on objectives. Okay, so you guys are here.
What's that for impact time with us at their current? If I keep my velocity and they keep up theirs, what's the?
Seems like you're both are traveling at 2 at the moment. So within, if you guys keep traveling at this speed, 1, 2, within 2 turns, you guys they'll be in the same quadrant part of space where you'll be like making contact, not necessarily ramming each other. You would just be in the same vicinity.
What's the minute? What's the minute? Parsec to minute.
I would say that could happen anywhere in the next 5 minutes. And Holiday.
Give me the message. Up here in the here in the cockpit, tapping stuff.
Yeah.
It sucks that this isn't a game where I can insight check, especially not a message like this, but okay. All right, give me a second. All right, the message comes through. Can I message them back? Is that something I can do from up here, or?
You can. And also everyone knows, and including she's the pilot, but you also now, with all this shit happening, also know another ship by that noise that another ship is approaching.
Okay. This is very much a trick that Holiday would want to pull.
So Yarvis, you walk back towards the bridge. Okay, so then Yarvis is like walking in right behind you.
Okay. As he's walking in, he sees Holiday shooting off a message that basically is warning, message corrupted, technical difficulties.
Nice. And
message corrupted, technical difficulties, not cutting the speed, and then Holiday's gonna get on like the whole ship intercom, and so that everyone can understand what's going on, and is going to get on the mic and is going to say, y'all, this is your pilot speaking. We have bogey incoming, making demands. Demands that include boarding and taking dear friend Dr. Yusuf and his quote unquote cargo to parts and places unknown. So whether we're going to be alive in time for that, we have about 5 minutes.
Shit.
And so as this is all happening, this creature is just like climbed up into the ceiling. Arden is starting to collapse and fall over. Someone needs to like get to her, but also that at this moment you kind of need all hands on deck as well if another ship is coming. And we will kind of crash to black there for a 5-minute break. In that time, also after you guys take a refill your drinks and stuff, I'm going to explain how encounters with other ships work, Yarvis will help me with this. I know there is no captain on this ship, but Wayland Yutani considers him to be the officer in charge, not really a captain. Captains do issue orders in these situations. You do not have to listen to a captain's orders at all. You can completely go against them. A captain can choose to not give orders as well. But we will pick back up.
Anarcho-syndicalist commune.
Good timing. Perfect timing.
I was so tempted, no offense, I was so tempted to just hand you the fuck over, but I don't trust them to not kill us when they take you.
We know how that's gone before.
Yeah, and also, yeah, like Holiday's like, hold on, this is something that I would say if I was about to go kill everyone on a ship. So no, that's not gonna happen.
I expect a lot of eyes.
I see you there.
That sounds like something that I would say, and I would never trust me in this situation. So.
Thankfully, we're all armed already.
Yeah, we're all armed already. So's the alien.
I'm gonna break meta here a little bit. That so technically, the alien stung Arden. When she goes down, she'll be out for an entire shift for 6 hours. That would be suck because then she's gonna kind of be out of the game for a moment. So I'm gonna extend that drug by 6 rounds. But if someone sees her sweating and stuff like that, you can feel free to try to provide medical aid or something like that to see if you can stop whatever contagion or whatever toxicities in her body, toxins that are in her body. So if you heard that,
just assume that I'm on. So like,
yeah, I know. I was gonna have you just pass out before the break, but I realized I read it was like a whole shift. I was like, well, I won't do that. So I'll give you six more rounds to stay up. Because I rolled a 6, so you're up. All right, so I'll be right back, and then we'll
all right,
get it going. So bear with me. This is definitely the first time using these rules. They're the rules in game, but this is anywhere from ship encounter to ship combat, depending on. I also meant to share with you when they worked on your ship. Holiday did notice between when the escape, you would have noticed that they installed, in addition to repairing, hidden. Probably because the guy, the manager, thought you guys might end up running with him, thought you might be smugglers with him. He added 2 small rail guns to the Phoenix.
I'm like, what did he add to my ship without my information? Oh, guns, that's fine. I thought you were about to say like tracking shit, like GPS. I was about to get pissed.
One of them was never finished after he realized you guys weren't going for it. That gun is inoperable and also doesn't have a bullet feed or anything. It's like it's completely inoperable. So only one is operable. Does it look operable? It looks operable. Okay. Probably hard to see from the naked eye from these at the extreme distance you are, they wouldn't even necessarily see your armaments. But looks like it, and they're actually meant to look hidden until you activate them. So yeah. What can I add? So I'll explain the way this works in the best possible way that I can. As ships approach each other in this general way, what happens is the game kind of breaks down. All of our normal initiative stays, but there also is a ship initiative, and that takes precedence as long as everyone is kind of manning their position. So what ends up happening is it's broke into several phases, and it's going to be, where did I put? So first the captain decides to give orders for each phase. So captain decides to tell the sensor operator what to do. The sensor operator is then going to make a choice to either target lock or to go dark. Go dark is to reduce your signature and make it harder for the enemy to lock onto you. So every time the order is giving, you have a couple of different options for your position. So this is also why should we go to roll 20? You'll notice that there are these sensor, pilot, gunner, and engineer positions on the space there. That's because so that if for example, right now, Holiday is automatically, we know she's in the pilot seat. So I put her character there. So now any pilot-based maneuvers, Holiday's going to roll for those. But if Holiday has to get up and go fight an alien or run down the hall, she can no longer make those checks. Or if Arden is running sensor and then Arden passes out, someone else has to man that. So for example, you guys could automatically put Rafa in gunner position, right? If you wanted to. So this is one of those moments where figuring out what you do best. Like I imagine Joe is engineer. I imagine that Barnes is a sensor operator. But I can't tell you where you put these, or if you even So that's kind of how it works. And so what we can do instead of going through all the rules, I'm gonna be very loose with it tonight. Because I'm not out to. It's kind of set up to be it's very like you don't play your hand of like what you play it at the same time. So it's kind of like rock paper scissors in a weird way like that. But seeing is like you're against a ship that's the DM, and you just don't know who's in this other ship that's approaching. We'll just kind of go through the phases. So in that first phase, the captain would decide if he's ordering the sensor operator to target lock. The target lock is going to be indicative of if you can get a target lock, that's the only way the gunner can actually fire their weapon. In this situation, also because you have a short range weapon, going dark might be a way to go because you could try to use a comtech to reduce your signature to make it harder for this ship to try to lock on you if they do that. So for example, to try to play this out in the first round, the first thing we normally do is both captains roll and we draw a card, but I'm going to just treat it as rolling initiative because it might just be easier to do since you don't have a cards there, Yarvis. So I'm going to just roll a D10 and you can roll a d10 if you got one there. I know you. And tell me what you. I got a 5. And remember, rolling lower is better. So the 5 is going first. So there are ways to swap that, but right now that ship that's approaching is going to act before you. And so what it is, there's different rounds. There's a sensor round, then we'll go from sensor to pilot, and then we'll go from pilot to gunner, and then from gunner to engineer. To kind of explain those, gunner is what it is. You're going to make attack options. Engineers are to try to repair damage that's been done to the ship. Pilots are able to do things like maneuver to get out of the way, accelerate, decelerate. Basically, you can use or use a reactive action to try to respond to an attack happening to you. So I know it's going to be a lot, so we'll just kind of break it down one section at a time. So with the sensor operator, do you think that? So what's going to happen is you guys can talk and role play however you want, but what's going to happen is we're going to go 3, 2, 1, and then I am going to put in the chat at the exact same time you do what you're doing for your sensor operator. So I have to either put in the chat that I'm target locking or that I'm going dark, essentially, for my. But right now, the role playing aspect is, the captain. You guys can also. You don't really want to tell me what you're doing. Feel free to role play, but then you can chat amongst each other. Maybe Jarvis, you can tell Holiday what you want, or you can tell whoever the sensor operator. You can tell Barnes what you want her to do, and then when you guys have your order confirmed, just let me know and we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then I'll put in what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
We want to do this all over whispers.
Yeah, I guess if the actual command that you want, you don't want me to know. I don't honestly. If you want to just kind of play it out and not care, I'll tell you exactly what the ship is not going to go dark. They're going to target lock. So for this first round, you get the feeling that they're target locking on you. But now here's the thing: when this is happening, let's be realistic. Joe, are you leaving? Are you leaving that station? Are you leaving from where you're at in the hallway? Let's kind of figure out what everybody's doing from where we left off. Actually, that makes more sense. So what's everyone doing? I will kind of break initiative here. The alien's off the board. The ship is hailing you. It's getting closer. What's everybody doing?
So I think Malcolm, to kind of tie it in role playing wise, if Holiday shares that message, because I was headed towards Mother, but she shared that message when I was in the bridge with her, I would kind of override on the, as she's saying the tail end of it, I would override it and just yell out to your stations, and then that way they decide what they're going to do in their situation.
That makes sense. Okay. As you guys arrive on the bridge, if you are going there, you do notice Arden doesn't look well, kind of sweating. And are you guys taking your typical positions? So is Joe taking engineer? Rafa gunner? Okay.
Sure, I'll go engineer. Okay. If I'm doing engineer, am I going up to the bridge or am I going to go down to where all the stuff actually is?
Roleplay wise, I'll let you. Yeah, that does make sense. You're able to make. Yeah, I guess you would have to make repairs from the lower level. That does make sense. Here's what it is. You can be on the bridge, but if you decide to go make an engineering move, then it counts. Then you're going to be moved. You're going to be down there if you go down there.
Yeah.
So we'll just treat you as you're waiting. You're on hold,
that's fair.
With holding your breath. Yusuf, unless you want to take Rafa, you could probably roll for Rafa.
So for Yusuf, I imagine he sees Arden kind of not feeling well and kind of feigning he's he's kind of going up to her and be like, "You okay?" And then being the selfish dick that he is, the weapon, is it okay? Is the weapon okay?
I mean, technically the weapon's okay.
Oh, good.
It's just no longer in our possession.
What do you mean?
The big thing took it.
I'm gonna immediately run to where that room
Okay.
was.
In the vents. Specifically.
So Yusuf goes running back. The door slides open. You're in the med bay, looking around, and you see the hole in the ceiling where the panel was moved.
Okay.
And there's a little puddle of like clear like liquid right under it.
Can I try to see what direction it went in? Or that's what I would try to be doing while everyone else, I guess, is.
You could literally like move a chair or a table and stand up there so that you could climb. That's probably the only, because it went up. So the only other way would be able to start going up there. I don't know if
I might peek in.
Okay, so
he's crazy desperate about that weapon, so he's gonna do something stupid probably.
Give me an observation check.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, and I have 2 stresses, I think. Okay, I got 3 6s.
Jeez.
No ones.
All right, so do you want to, with your stunt, you can ask...
Yeah, like which direction it went in and see if I can trace what room it might have gone towards.
Yeah.
And I would run in that direction. Yeah, I would, but I'll be careful about it.
So you asked what direction it went in.
Yeah.
As you're looking up in that area, actually, yeah, before you even climb up there, you hear like skittering in the above you, and then that causes you to like, now you can tell it like it's moving.
Oh.
And as you step out back into the hallway, you just as the door opens and you step into the hallway, you can hear something loud thump. You don't see it, but you can hear it like climbing down the metal gate, the metal ladder, right here. So it went back down into the lower down.
Okay.
Would you continue after it?
I would. Shit. I'd probably I'd go back and let some of the other people know.
And then
who would be closest to me? I guess the engine would be Joe. Would be closest to me.
You would get one level of Joe's. It's still like waiting in everyone's on the bridge at this moment.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
I don't know if while all this is happening, has the captain sent or decided to tell the censor what you want to do here?
I'll tell the censor to go dark.
All right. So with them going dark, with you all going dark, that will reduce your signature by 2, which it goes from a +1 to a -1. So it's going to give me a -1 on target lock. I make a comtech roll, and I have to make this based on who's the sensor person in that ship, who you don't know who they are. So that sensor person, okay, makes a comtech. Okay. Actually, they're pretty. Just gonna be wits. Okay, so they do not lock. Do not get a lock on you. As you're going dark, suddenly you're able to slip kind of under the radar. They're still trying to, but not able to get it. As this is happening, Captain, you now want to decide, as we go into the pilot phase, do you accelerate? So as you guys are going toward each other, do you accelerate, which is to make a piloting check, and if you succeed, increase your speed by 1. You can decelerate, increasing. Right now, you guys are traveling at two like marks per turn, and you're about 8 spaces away. If you maneuver, the pilot will make opposed checks. Both pilots will make opposed checks, and whenever you make a piloting check during the piloting phase, you add your thrusters, which on your ship is a +1. Sorry, on you guys' ship it's a +0. It's a big heavy ship. It's +0. So you can maneuver to. If you maneuver, then if you win, you swap initiatives. You guys start going first in whatever takes place. So, or you can choose to ram, which is only when you guys are like in the same space. You just like ram into them. So what are you? I can tell you what I think they're going.
So now, don't say what you're gonna do. But okay. I've already told Holiday what I want to say, and then she can repeat that. Or we'll act it out once you guys say your numbers.
Nice. Okay. I am. If you want to go 3, 2, I'm going to put this in the chat on 1 on what we're doing. 3, 2, 1. So we are. Ship is accelerating.
So are we.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on a different chat channel.
So increasing the speeds of so now we both go.
Yeah. So what I yelled at Holiday, I'd say, pilot, just get us out of here.
Yes, sir. Gunning it. So it's a piloting check, yes.
Yeah, it's a pilot. Oh, yeah. So then give me. You're gonna move after your piloting check. So actually, we both need to make piloting checks. So. And if you succeed, then you get an extra 1 to that movement.
1, 2, 3, 4 6s and no 1s.
All right, my pilot is, and my pilot supposedly acts before, so 3 plus wit, so 6 dice. You said no 1s, okay?
I had more dice than that.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of.
Get out of here with this. Come on, man.
I got 1 6, so they end up moving. Why can't I move them? 2, 3. Now, so the thing about it's not like Star Wars where you guys can just maneuver out. It's almost like because of the trajectory, you have to fly by them, right? So you're there because they're coming at you. You still gotta cross kind of into the general vicinity. So you guys just speed up. You both are just coming at each other, and you're not like on this. You're just like in the same. Like in real life, the ships are probably in different spaces, but you're moving towards the same vicinity. All right. So as you move up, so as the ships are powering forward.
No tricks for piloting when it's ship-to-ship combat.
There are only maneuver, which can swap, and then there's docking if they want to try to dock. But to dock, they have to be at the same speed. So right now, we technically are still traveling at the same velocity for them to try it if that happens on the next turn. Hiccup in the system. Did I freeze? Okay.
Froze for a minute. Yeah.
Oh, we thought it was just you.
Yeah. So so now gunner actions. Pilot you can tell them what you want them to do here. So gunners are going to be pretty basic. You're going to, and for the sake of, you can either, so actually we're really close. So the weapons are going to we're at medium range within 2 spaces of each other. So you're getting, so all shots at each other would get a +0, sorry, if they're at this range. But you can, let's see, the gunner actions. It's pretty much fire weapons if you choose to fire those weapons. Now, we didn't lock on you, so we can't fire actually. And you chose not to lock. You went dark, so neither one of us can actually fire our guns. So then we would move to engineer actions. No one's been affected. So technically, engineers can roll to fix things, or you can open the airlock if you're trying to keep someone from locking onto you. So now the ships are getting really close, and as they are,
sorry, Malcolm.
Go ahead.
Can I use the turn to use my signature item and reduce stress?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna grab my tool belt and just kind of worry at it for a little bit.
So as convoluted as that was like the end of one ship phase. And then that ship phase, I'll also go back to anything that's happening roleplay wise. So Arden is still kind of sweating. And so that counts down to 5. Yusef you're now going back to the main room.
I'm going into the bridge.
Okay.
To let them know this thing went into the basement, or lower floor.
So Yusef busts into the room, and is like, it's got it went downstairs.
And they're probably just like too busy not even paying attention.
And Yusuf shows up in the doorway just in time to see Holiday like cutting it like full thruster for her.
As these ships are just, everything's in full motion. Noises are going off as you all are trying to like keep your wits about you. We would start at the top where captains are deciding whether to target lock. Now, when you go dark, okay, you guys didn't power down your engine. So, do you at this point? For the sensor, it's just a matter of do you power up, or do you go dark? Or do you target lock? So I will put my
who's the person that's in
that's
sensor? Barnes.
And actually, let me see something. When you go target down. Okay. Are you ready?
I just sent it to Barnes.
Just tell me when you all are ready, and then.
Well, I know what I need to do, but what do I? Am I just posting it when you're?
Yeah, we just go 3. When you're ready, just put it in your chat, and then we're gonna hit enter on 3. Or on 1, 3, 2, 1, and we both enter so we can see what we decided to do. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. All right. Oh, target lock. Okay. So I get to try to target lock first with my sensors. I chose a really bad person to be doing my sensors. Let's see.
So what do I?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're supposed to make sensors for you. It's going to be a comtech check, just like normal. It's like your favorite ability, and you need to get. So I got and you get to add your. It's a comtech plus target lock is at this range is a +0 to your comtech, and then that's it. So we got 2 6s to target lock.
That was really loud. I used Katarina's
I could hear that from my room.
So I got 2 6s.
Oh shoot! So we both locked. So we're both locked onto each other.
We both can use. Hold on.
We both can use our guns.
Stress doesn't help or hurt. Yeah, good.
Okay. All right. So as this is happening now, we move to pilot phase, where it's either accelerate, decelerate. Right now, we're going at these 3 clicks, just about to just fly right by each other. I am going to. All right, my captain's issuing his orders. And then I'll wait for you to let me know that you guys have decided what you want to do.
Keep in mind, you don't have to follow your captain's orders.
This is true.
Based on the face that you're making.
Holiday made that face in canon. Oh, man.
And then I also want everyone to give me, outside of this moment, observation checks. With stress.
Nada.
Okay.
2 6s.
And also, if you do panic while you're in the bridge, it's a different stress chart.
That's fun. That'll be fun. I didn't do that, but that'll be fun. Too many people in my brain.
Interesting.
You're like, get out of
here. Jarvis and Holiday only. Everyone else needs to go to their seats. Their trays in the upright and locked position.
So this is on you, right? Because you're the pilot right now.
Yeah. Although, quick question.
Uh-huh.
So because you had asked earlier when it turned out to be moot because no one had locked on, but how does like firing and such get affected by like our speeds, or does that?
It somehow doesn't. Other than what it does is like, when you're gunning, you get. I will tell you, right now we're at 1 to 2 spaces, so we're at +0. If we get in the same space. No, we're within 1 range, right? So it should be to our guns. No, we're not adjacent. So we're within 2 spaces. So it's a +0. If we were right next to each other, the guns would get +2 to their dice rolls on their attacks. Is that what you're asking? Is that what?
No, but it is buying me time to
okay.
think.
What were you?
To be completely transparent, my question is: if I gun it, will it affect and I accelerate even further?
Oh, okay. And by the way, I'm not going to change what I decided to do. I've already put it. I'm ready to hit, so I'm not going to change based on what you say. Just since this is the first time we're like using these rules, I have put it in. I've committed to it. So yeah, if you were to try to accelerate faster and they don't, the gunners will still be able to shoot. But so the gunners are just going to take modifications based on where they are after you finish moving. So once you're 3 spaces away, that +0 might be a -1, right? Like that's all.
Okay.
So right now, if you accelerate and I decelerate to match your speed, then I could be where I want to be. I don't, just depending.
All right, I've made my decision with Holiday glaring at Jarvis.
All right.
So what are the exact wordage of the options again?
Yes, it's accelerate, decelerate, ram, maneuver, or dock.
Would you like to specify anything further, Captain?
Yeah. Maneuvers if you want to just change our initiatives. Because here's the thing. What's weird is that my initiative is still ahead. So what I always wonder about this is if there's initiative, whatever I do, does that just mean I go first? It seems like the way it's worded is a little weird because I wonder if I go first still, regardless of what you do, I might still be able to get it off. But I wonder.
Yeah, it's weird because a lot of the skills are like we're doing at the same time.
It seems like you're doing them at the same time, but they just give you initiative so you can roll the dice, I guess, first. It just doesn't seem like it doesn't make sense why there's initiative then. Maybe I don't understand. I need to rewatch a video on ship combat because there doesn't seem to be. What I'm saying is there doesn't seem to be a huge advantage to me having initiative, right? Are you feeling the same way? Okay. Okay. So yeah, you're ready.
Sure.
So 3, 2, 1. Oh shoot! It didn't. It didn't go.
You did what I almost did last time.
Yeah, I think I did the same thing. So they were going to be trying to dock at the same speed as 3. You're holding course.
Yeah. So just accelerate. It would be like.
Oh, so same accelerate. Okay, never mind. Then yeah,
accelerate. You didn't say accelerate. You said stay. So that means you stayed at
steady, and I didn't know what that meant. I thought he meant just steady, like keep on this. I didn't know you mean continue the same order.
I'm gonna go with you and believe that you meant accelerate to +1, which means that you'd be pushing it from 3 to 4. So you need to give me the piloting check. Now, this is the weird thing. Technically, as an initiative, I'm supposed to try to dock first. So I'm supposed to make a dock roll. Ships must be in the... Oh, no.
I thought because we accelerated last turn, that means
this is how it works. I need to be in the same zone as you.
Right.
So
adjacent.
If you fail, you stay at 3. And then... Oh, but then I would go by you. So then... No. Yeah, so this doesn't make it. I don't see how this works. I can't. We would almost have to be at the. Because if I move in, I would have had to decelerate, stay stable with dock. There's no way I could like.
No, I think maybe that's where the initiative comes in. So you're both moving, your initiative, you go first, so you would get next to us and attempt to dock, right?
So the thing is,
and then if you miss, then we're allowed to like leave and go on our acceleration.
Part of it also might be if you're going in the same direction, certain things would be a little easier, stuff like that.
They always describe it as though I'll have you guys read it when you get a chance because between the next game you guys can read about this. It's between like 190 something, it's like 195 to like 198 or something like that. It's only a few pages, but it's a little confusing. For the sake of narrative, I'm just gonna be the GM and overwrite this and say that they are like, since you're staying close, they'll try to fly up beside you and try to connect the umbilical. They're like going for it. I don't have great skills here, so it's not like I'm rolling a shit ton of dice on these maneuvers. So
I got 2-6.
It's very unlikely that I pull this off. So
old words.
Yeah, I know, right? Piloting check. It's gonna be okay. Oh shit. So 2 6s, but you got 2 6s. So we also don't talk about how ties.
So Holiday and their pilot flip each other off through the view screen.
So as they are trying to match your speed, I'm just gonna go with what seems most realistic. They are trying to match the speed, and as these ships are kind of flying by each other, it seems super fast, but they're actually kind of slowly. They kind of moving in very close and trying to latch on. As they try to grab on, Holiday just punches it and is able to kind of take off and like their arm scrapes kind of against yours as you guys move past each other. So now they're on the other side of you as you fly by, because you went 1, 2, 3, so you run 4. So I kind of got a little off here. So yeah, the ships are starting to head away from each other. At this point, the way they describe combat, there's almost no way by the time they turn around, you guys will be gone at the speed you're traveling. So that it's not like Star Wars combat. It's literally like once you pass in the night, it's over. So you can still, going into gunner phase, you can still shoot at them if you want them off as you're flying away, and they can still shoot at you. So in the gunner phase, do you guys? We're going to gunner phase since they're still within range.
Right. Who should I send it to?
Oh yeah. Why don't we let Yusuf run gunner? And I can tell you, for Rafa, he has. If you want to choose Rafa, he has a range combat of 5 dice, and then because of being 2 spaces, you get +0. So it's and the gun you're using, your rail guns give you. This is the first time shooting the guns. I did put them in here. I thought I did on there. I think they give you a +1 from their railgun. And then your gun does, if you hit, the gun will do 4 damage to the hull of this ship.
Sorry, so I'm rolling
5 dice. Oh, okay. 6 dice. And you want 6 successes you're looking for here.
6 dice. Okay.
So Rafa's just like, the guns are going off outside.
Actually,
the ship.
I'd like Dr. Zane to do it. He has theoretical projections that he could use to.
Why? What? You want him to shoot the guns? Why?
I thought he ran off after the alien.
I came
back to the bridge to point it out. Like, listen, the alien's downstairs, and no one's paying attention. Was the ship gone? And then he gave me the order, and I'm gonna okay. Yeah, I think it's this button.
Yeah, this one's easy because we're gonna fire back as well. So.
Okay. Right, so we have to do it at the same time or anything, right?
Oh no, you have to. Oh well, yeah. I guess you guys.
I jumped.
Agreed that
we both basically just decide.
I'm trying to move it because now that you've flown by each other, there's almost no chance that I can catch you guys. So they're just the guns are going off. Even if
All
ours
right.
land first, we didn't even hit you.
I got 2 6s.
Okay.
Actually, wait.
armor-
Do 6s on the stress die count? No.
Yes, they do.
Oh yeah, they do, right? Yeah, so that's
And
4 6s.
our ship has 5 armor, so we roll to negate some of that damage. We're
Okay.
negating none of it, so we take. So what happens? The
damage.
first 6 counts as 4 damage for you, and then the extra 6 counts as 5. So our ship's going to take 5 whole damage. And the ship only has. So the ship is looking. Our ship's looking really bad to the point where.
Didn't he say he rolled 4 6s?
4 6s.
Including
You
the
rolled
stress
4
dice?
6s?
The 2 stress die, I had 6s on those too.
Got
so
it.
I
That's
forgot,
a lot
forgot
more
to count them.
6s. So describe for me what it looks like as Zane gets in the line. You know, you're moving like begrudgingly. Rafa is getting up out of the gunner's chair, and it's just kind of like, whatever. Like
Yeah,
it's your own
I'll
bed.
just-
You lie in it. When he gets us all killed, don't come talking to me. He goes and pours himself a shot.
Kind of nervous. I'm just like, all right, well, look, I'm a fast learner, and I'm not even sure what this looks like, but I'll just like kind of quickly like be like, is there an instruction? Nah, never mind. I don't need the instruction manual. I'm just I'll kind of like haphazardly hit a few buttons and actually don't know what I'm doing at all. And the luck of that is probably what's going to help me hit it so well, because there's no other way I would hit it.
Nice. And so as you're just tapping these buttons, your shots outside like go off into the distance. Their shots you can't hear, of course, in space, but there's no sounds. But out there, just suddenly in the distance, you see you can kind of feel the percussion, like the percussion wave, as that ship disappears. As you have destroyed that ship outside there.
I did.
It was a smaller ship, so it's like as they flew by, you just like somehow riddled that thing with a railgun. It's gone. And so,
And then Yarvis would then turn around to Yusuf and say, "Nice job. Now go back down there and help Joe with that dog."
Oh yeah, we need to go see that dog now.
And at some point, you're gonna have to tell us why these people exactly want you in Jocago, right?
They wanted the weapon. No.
They
I don't know why they
specified
want me.
you. I don't know why they
I don't
would
know.
want. No offense. I
Well-
don't know why they would want you and the weapon when they could just have the weapon.
so is this the first time you're sharing, or had you shared that with him in chat?
I had said like, okay, Dr.
Okay.
Yusuf, some friends
They're
are gonna
they're after
She did say that, yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't know why they wanted me. I was at the station, and something went down. There was shots firing, and I was working on the research. I had to take it with me and leave. Maybe they just want the weapon. I don't know.
So, yeah, that's what they asked for Yusuf and the cargo, or the time goes on, and I'm gonna push it forward like we're like almost a good shift goes by, a good 6 hours. You guys can backlog and tell me what you've been doing in that time, but so far nothing major has happened other than Arden has fallen and gone out and has been just like unconscious. You guys have been monitoring her vital signs in the med bay, and I'll allow you to kind of set the next scene. And what I'll do actually is I'll roll to see if this dog has done anything in a certain amount of hour or. Okay, so 5 days march on as you have not. Arden is back up, but you have not been able. You're still like 40 days from your travel. You're supposed to go into hypersleep, but I'm sure you're all like deathly afraid to do that. But you so
we're
far
sleeping.
everything.
If that dog is still out there, we've been sleeping in shifts. We've
Yeah.
been barricading wherever it is that we're sleeping.
I think Zane would actually try to look for it.
Let's set up some Scooby-Doo traps, some tripwires, throw some flour down, see if it'll leave tracks.
I think this is the point after we're done with the ship issue. This is the point that I think Barnes would attempt to use the mother computer to try to improve our sensors to figure out where that alien is, so we can keep an eye on it.
Does Barnes talk to Yarvis when she goes to see Mother, or does she just, like, when Yarvis is doing something else, try to go and access?
She would probably try to do it on her own, but if she couldn't get into it, then maybe, I don't know how much he's paying attention to what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be times of the day where he's just not around, right? You just go into the bridge and you try to, but that Mother door stays, like, locked, and it's not because he's really the captain or anything. I know you guys don't have it. It's because he's the officer and he's just only one with the key card, unless you, like, take his key card. So you're essentially trying to hack it to go in and talk to Mother.
Yeah, I think generally the way she operates is, yeah, it's fine if, you know, he wants to think he's in charge and they'll do stuff, but otherwise she's pretty much, you know, the crew is sort of, she's more loyal to the other crew members.
Of course. I think everybody is. We know that. I just always say that so you guys know that. That's why I'm always defaulting to Wayland Yutani is why you can't access. So it's you're literally going to have to make a Comtech roll. I will say with one stress, not because of the dog creature, but just because of hopefully not getting caught by Yarvis, right?
Oh, I gotta add my stress dice. I got 1-6. I can't believe I only got 1-6 on all these dice. 1. Bad.
Access denied.
Okay.
And so you realize you could continue. You could actually also forget you can push your roll and try again on your, because we have forgot about pushing. Pushing does give you another stress.
Yeah, I'll push it.
Okay.
Three 6s this time.
You're like the sound of the computer room, the gears kind of spinning, and then the door opens. Welcome, Officer Yarvis. And then there's this white walled, octagonal room full of tons of little dim flashing lights. It's literally the 70s, 80s computer room. It's one giant server with a little green window and a white chair at the center.
Okay, so now she's going to sit down and attempt to sort of hack in to see if she can, get access to the sensors from there and see if she can boost it so that we can find out where that alien is. Maybe to sense motion.
This first hack is to just try to get access to Mother without a car.
Okay.
So actually, no, you've actually opened the door, which means it automatically assumes. But I assume that you don't necessarily. You know what this Comtech is for? Is like bypassing his password. Like Yarvis's. And Yarvis, why don't you give me a give me your a manipulation check. It's kind of random, but I'm gonna use it as like to see how strong your so instead of telling me how many 6s you get, just message me how many successes you get.
You don't want me to share my password?
Oh, you get, yeah, I got
You said manipulation, right?
Yep. And
am I rolling anything, or am
yes, you're gonna go ahead and roll a Comtech after I get his 6s, and that's gonna basically be predicate how many successes you're gonna need.
Do I have a stress on this, or is it just
no stress? This is just you set your password. It's just gonna basically make how easy it is for her to succeed at this.
I got.
I'm looking
I
at your
don't know.
password. That's gonna help me. Okay. Go ahead and make your Comtech check, Barnes.
I got 5 this time.
5 successes.
I have a lot of dice for Comtech because I also have a talent that contributes.
You're literally becoming Barnes is like the alien version of Aaron's character in Tales from the Loop. He just like hacks everything like that we do.
Yep.
So
My password is password.
you go through. Yarvis is the coolest 007.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
007. And it welcome Yarvis. And it please and it actually she doesn't really speak. I always like imagine Mother has sometimes over the intercoms you guys hear that, but when you're there in the room, it's just the little green digital and it just welcomes you and asks you, what are you, kind of an opening question like, how can I help you? So now you're just literally just role playing with the machine. You're just asking questions. And here's what I'll do. You can ask a question for every success you got past 1.
Okay, so let me move all my guys over here. Okay, so one of them is used up. Okay, so I have 4 left. Okay.
Or you can tell me what you're trying to get out of it. If you don't want to ask a question, you can continue to try to
basically I'm wanting to find a way to track that creature because I think with the heat sensors it didn't work, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm trying to maybe focus on motion sensors. Mm-hmm.
So the way Mother has is you pretty much have to tell Mother, you talk to her. It's very much a communicative process. If you ever watch Alien 1 where you go, Mother, we have an alien life form on board. What do we do about this? How can I track it? Or I need to track the creature aboard. You know, you have to make a statement to Mother and then Mother responds.
Okay. Mother, can I track or how can I track alien movement on this ship?
So the little cursor bleeps for a minute and it goes, no need to track alien movement. Alien should be left alone. Alien life form, do you intend to harm alien life form? And then the little cursors.
Alien life form loose on ship, protecting crew from harm.
Protect alien life form at all costs.
Need location to protect alien life form.
Does not compute. And it just, and then that comes back. And then, any other question? I'll say that one counted for like, you did like 3, I think there, right?
I did 3, yeah. What is mission?
Project Life Force. Deliver alien cargo. Deliver alien artifact. Alive and well. Alien should not harm most of crew. Officer Yarvis, safe. And then it says, it starts naming the rest of them. And then it says, it's just question marks on all the other names. Including you, and then at the end yours is Barnes, it says, and it's another question marks.
So those were my 4. Am I allowed to ask more questions, or is it?
And then it just says, the creature may need to feed a long trip based on time of arrival. 1 crew is expendable. Now, what's everyone else doing? Like maybe like right now in this moment, what might you be doing in your off time somewhere on the ship? You want actually in Yarvis, give me an observation. You, Barnes, you give me a mobility. He doesn't have to act on this, but if he beats your mobility, then he might have a hunch. He might be headed towards the bridge. Or
is this still with the extra stress?
Yeah. Yes. I imagine that Holiday I don't know where if Holiday hangs out the bridge all the time, she probably just knows you're in there and like just doesn't care.
Nope. No. As long as Barnes isn't bothering Holiday in her space, it's fine.
I have 1 6.
Okay.
Just 1. I don't get as many dice for this.
But Yarvis got 1 success. So here's what I'll say, but since they're matched and tied, you like get a feeling like maybe you should, unless you decide to stay, you get a feeling like maybe like you're kind of looking at your time, how long you've been in here. Maybe he comes around here every now and then. Would you leave on that inclination, Barnes?
Well, does it look like that Mother is still talking to me? Because I gotten to the point where I was asking my questions.
It does.
Okay. But I have the feeling that Yarvis is.
He could show up at any second now. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably leave.
If you push it, you can get 1 more question in. If you leave, you just leave. That's the way I'll say it. If you to make it a ultimatum, you push it, you ask more question, but you might get caught. You just like get out.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay. And so as you walk out and the door is just as it closes, you're able to like kind of step away and like lean over and on the desk where Holiday is, and you both you just kind of like Holiday just like starts talking, and Yarvis walks in the room right after him. And Yarvis, you feel like something was going on, but you can't prove it.
Inspiring women.
We get really quiet when you walk in.
Yeah.
Like, different subject. We were just talking about you.
Yeah, I mean, I would check in my emails and stuff like that, but I'm assuming that
okay.
She was like undetectable.
Yusef and Arden. Arden, you're starting to feel better. I mean, there's so much as scientists, right? Like, what stung you? I mean, studying. I don't know if you've been studying the venom or trying to monitor that. I don't know if you guys have gone back to the weapons. There's a lot there, so you guys can kind of. This is almost a lot like Tales from the Loop, where kind of want you guys to fill in the time and the space. Are you spending the hours and the shifts hunting the creature? Are you just like watching each other's back, waiting for something to go wrong? Have you come up with a plan to methodically, like in the Alien movie, do you start trying to seal off, corridors? Do you devise a plan to hunt this thing down? This is really a lot of like where we go next is kind of on you all. I mean, I'll kind of leave it open to you all.
I heard Yusef talking about wanting to hunt this thing down. I want that to happen. I don't want to do it by myself. And I feel like I probably get tasked with doing a lot of, the thing's broken. Nelson will do it. Like,
go down there.
I'm not doing that shit by myself.
So I feel like shifts, like Joe's like shifts, like his normal like upkeep of the ship is starting to kind of like, because he's not like going down there to the bowels of the ship on a regular basis to kind of tinker and make sure things are right. So
I think Jarvis would tell the group that, why don't we just starve it out? If we all go into Cairo sleep, by the time we wake up, it should be dead.
Yeah, real.
And that way,
start talking like Aramis, like, yeah, because what we want is to have a really hungry creature come into one room with all of us, nicely wrapped up like little burritos for it.
We need to find it.
Yeah, now, I'm not going
to. It has
more than welcome, sir, to go to cryo sleep. We'll handle it while you're under. I am not doing that until we have this thing on lockdown.
Arden, it has your weapon. You want it back, right?
This is true. Yeah, so I mean, I'd want to find it, but I'd also want to be studying. No, I woke up a while ago.
Because days, like literally 5 more days have gone by. She was only out for like 6 hours.
Okay, so it wasn't, I was thinking she had that long until she was passed out dying because of the poison.
Oh no, it literally
so
just was like, it was just knocked her out for a while. So she's been feeling okay for the most part. A little groggy for that first couple hours after woke up, but okay.
You'd also definitely want to study the venom, so figuring that out.
Let's see. Since you're not sure, here's the thing. I'm gonna say that everybody has a lingering stress because it's been too long without finding this thing. So you're all on edge, at least with that one stress. So can you give me a check, Arden, on the venom? And Yusuf, were you about to say something? Or?
I want to help her with that. Like, okay. Also,
if you're helping, then she just gets an extra die roll to her roll.
Great.
What is the check?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be. I hate that everything's observation, but I feel like when there's not so many skills. I know it's not really medical aid, but let's treat it like. Let's treat it like a medical aid check.
Oh my god, I'm so bad at those.
What's your best thing as a scientist? Is it observation?
Comtech, observation, survival. All of those are pretty good.
All those are pretty good. Okay, then let's do observation because that I just feel like I've been calling out observation so much.
Okay, so I got 3 6s and I didn't panic or anything with my.
Okay. So while you were asleep, Yusuf, you were able to draw maybe blood, maybe do a saliva swab, and in the fluids you were able to kind of find the chemical compound. Look, don't come at me. I don't know how any of this works, but I'm just gonna make it up movie style. You're able to find and take little samples of what could have been in her blood. And now that she's awake, you guys are both working together, and she's kind of, at this point, Arden takes over, and together with you helping, though, you Arden, mostly you, find that this is definitely, it was a toxin meant to knock you out. So which does mean, maybe from your scientific kind of hypothesis, is that the creature didn't want to kill you. It literally, maybe in its normal form, this creature uses this to knock its prey out, to take it somewhere to use it, maybe save it later for food. But it does seem now that it wasn't deadly, and it was definitely in the stinger. With some more study, maybe you could use it for further, for your further studies. But you're able to better understand what it was used for. And it is strange. I think with that, I'll add is that this creature doesn't seem to be so predatory that it's like it's strange that it's not extremely aggressive. It's been multiple days and you have not seen it, so it's clearly hiding. And it is strange that I think you're starting to make some weird connections as scientists, both you and Arden and Yusuf, that this thing showed itself to Joe, didn't kill him, right? Stung Arden, didn't kill her, but then has your item. So it's starting to seem like this creature is either extremely intelligent or knows, and if it is extremely intelligent, why does it know? Why does it even want this, this object? maybe some questions to Ash.
So, have we been like trying to? I assume that like Joe.
That's
Joe
what I don't know.
Like
I want to know
to
like
look for it in the ship. Have we been trying to look for it in the ship?
Like in that 5 days, what like working shifts look like for people looking for it? That might help me better understand like what it looks like when you guys go after it.
At the risk of being the stupidest person to ever play Alien, I think Holiday would wander alone looking for it. I think Holiday would just have her one pistol with her, but she's okay. This thing's intelligent. She digs that. She wants perhaps a conversation if one's available. So she's, telling everyone I'm going to be up at the cockpit if you guys need me, and then she's going to wander through the ship, maybe go down to the cargo hold, just kind of stroll casually around.
You might unknowingly bump into Zane because he would definitely be going on his own too because he really wants to see that weapon.
No, I'm not out here. I'm not out here looking. No, I was stretching my legs.
I mean, I would have my torch ready.
I keep switching to Aramis. Be careful where you point that thing, please, Doctor.
Sorry. You're looking.
All right. So on these shifts, I'm gonna say another day marches on. We pick up on. We're now at. I know I said 40, but I meant. So we're at like day 49.
Right, you said 55 days or something total, right?
It was originally that, but we're now at 49.
All right.
Yep. And so we pick up on like a shift in the middle of the day where at this point, it doesn't matter because you never see the sun up, you never see sundown. And you guys are moving through these cramped, dark hallways in the belly of the ship. Can I get observations as you're looking around? And so here's the thing: you do bump into each other. So and when that moment where you come around the corner, it's like, oh, you see each other, and it's like, okay, kind of, what are you doing down here? And then you can both give me observation.
Does the stress come down at all, or are we still at?
Yeah, we're like at a general.
Yeah. And I'll say that whenever you're in the belly of the ship, it goes up 1, so you guys are at +2 stress. Because you just don't know what's down there, and so everyone else is always level is 1. It's just kind of hard.
+2 from our. I already had 2. Another 2 on top of that.
Oh, you had 2 already.
I had 2 already from.
So you just
this whole thing.
You're at 3.
Okay.
Well, days have gone. So here's the thing: since days are going by, you would have reset. So instead of I won't do that to you.
So 2 stress.
What's happening is you're 2 because you're resetting to 1 just because it's hard to
Yeah. Speaking of 2, I got 2 6s.
Oh shit! I got 4 6s.
Damn, Yusuf.
Okay.
Holiday jumps a little.
That observation, yeah.
I don't know if there's any. So what you guys pick up on while you're down there, you find like you suddenly almost slip, Yusuf, and you see this sticky, clear substance on the ground, and as you walk a little further, some of that sticky substance is now dried, and there's almost like a resin along the walls, and it leads down a path that goes towards the tanks of the ship, where the also close to where like the fuel is, where the engine is, to where it's very warm.
I'll point that out to Holiday, like, see that residue?
Yeah.
You can also, because you got 4 6s, you guys, you can also. You can also you can ask observation questions. I'm usually pretty loose with these. If you want to ask them, the GM will answer them honestly.
Does it seem like it's right? It needs, like, it's low on health. It like needs to stay warm.
Nothing seems like, you don't see any blood. You don't see, or what? Maybe this stuff is, I don't know. It doesn't seem like, as a scientist, this doesn't seem like some excrement that is blood of any type. You can't tell. I don't think you can tell if it is hurt or weak from just looking at the fluid. I don't know if you touch it at all, observe it, or continue down. Anything else?
You said the fluid dries up, right?
Yeah, it's so the stuff you see is kind of wet, and then when you come around the corner along the walls, the pipes kind of have a sticky glare of substance over them, like a secretion that is like almost like when you see a snail, but the snail has left the residue and it's all kind of rock. It's kind of rock hard. But imagine that, and it's not a lot of it. It's not like, I'm not telling you there's like, we're not thinking like Aliens 2 where it's like a hive, but there's just some of that stuff, almost like spider webs. But when you grab those, where the webby, it kind of snaps. It's brittle.
Got it. So where it's more liquidy, it's probably more fresh.
It's more fresh.
So like that's the direction. It's dry towards the tank area, but it's fresh more towards.
It's fresh right around where you guys just walked.
I'll just like look up. Like, does it seem like it's like above us anywhere?
You have a feeling that it's close.
I'll just like kind of make a sound to Holiday and point out. Or around.
And Holiday, like, very quietly, let's do like a back-to-back situation here, right? Okay. Since there's two of us, I feel a little better. Just back-to-back. Yeah, I got the Magnum.
And you both give me a -1 observation check as you're backing away.
-1 observation.
-1, but not minus from the panic, right?
Never minus from the panic.
Just thought I'd ask.
1-6.
1-6 as well.
Okay. And so, as you look up, slowly backing away, along the ceiling, there's like you see behind me these black pipes. And as you step away from that liquid, up next to the pipe, you notice that there's a kind of a grayish pod, and you realize that, and it's secreted in that gunk, but hard. It's your gun. It's your alien weapon. It's about, I don't know, it's the ceilings are pretty low in here, but it's still about a foot or two. So you kind of be leaping to try to get it or touch it, but it's like jammed in the ceiling between two pipes.
Holiday can roll her eyes. Holiday can roll her eyes and take a knee and link her fingers like, all right, nerd, let's get out of here.
Wait. I'm just gonna try to leap onto like a crate or something and try to grab
it. oh, he's too good. He's too good for a hand up. All right. I was looking arrow, sorry.
Oh, that's what you were trying to do?
Yeah, I was trying to get out of here. I was trying to bond. I was trying to...
Sorry, I missed that moment.
While they're down there, what's everybody else doing in other parts of the ship?
Well, since they were not trying to set up any kind of organized search, I would be still trying to do engineering type maintenance, but probably kind of half-assed and as close to the crew deck as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like keeping an eye and an ear open as much as I can.
Anybody else?
I think Jarvis would have floated between his room and the galley to hang out with Rafa, to kind of like when he needs to be alone and then when he needs to just drink to forget about everything. But he's also kind of keeping an eye out, trying to do as many like employee meals with everyone, just to keep an eye out, just because there was talk of killing the monster or the dog, that I didn't want that to happen based off my orders.
Has he, how has he often, I often notice he's felt, I think he's, before he really didn't want anybody to have the the gun, I guess now that he knows it's not there and that everyone's looking for it. But so yeah, it really doesn't matter. My question I was going to ask doesn't make any sense. It was originally like, how did he feel? That would have been for later, before they took it, before the alien took it. It was just how he felt about that. Okay.
So, from Barnes' standpoint, I think, I mean, she knows that Jarvis seems to be in on this alien and that he's part of this delivery of this alien. And so I think, you know, she's still trying to find a way to track the alien's movement. And maybe doing that through the various different areas of the ship, trying to tweak the different systems to be able to track movement, to do that. But then also, whenever he's not around and she's alone with some of the other crew, sort of filling them in on what she learned.
Got it.
So, you know, if he's going and locking himself in his room, then she's, you know, talking with the others to stay on alert, because we can't trust him because we're all potentially expendable.
So you've been sharing that with other crew
but
members.
On a very sort of
kind of
discreet level.
Okay.
Yeah, starting with Joe, I think first, and then just sort of as others have been available.
Yusuf, can you give me a mobility check to see if you can, with stress here, to dislodge or try to get your gun back?
Without the help of Holiday, because I missed that social.
Is Holiday
cue.
trying to help? Oh yeah, you sound like
now I screwed
Yeah,
myself.
Holiday has decided that the nerd needs some help. So.
All right, so Holiday's gonna try to help me. Wait, so it's a mobility check. That's okay. Six. You said -1, or did I miss that?
Just regular. No, regular mobility.
Okay. Do I get to add one for? Oh shit. Okay, so I got 1 panic, 2 6s.
Oh shit. So whenever you get a panic, it negates
Afraid of
all of
heights.
your 6s.
Right.
He's afraid of heights.
So
Not very mobile.
as you reach out to grab the thing, the pipe next to it, or what you thought was a pipe, moves and opens its mouth and like rolls over and kind of tucks into a fetal position, and you can see it laying on the pipes above, holding.
Oh, it's holding it.
It's holding it. So you just saw like a black pipe and the white thing stuck in the resin, and what you didn't notice is that thing
That is
kind of when it moved.
That is it.
Like, grab it and bring, and it seems to be like sleeping.
I'm gonna push it and try to reach and grab the weapon.
You get another. Oh no, actually you can't push because you failed. So you need to give me a panic check.
Damn it. Okay. Panic.
That was good. That was good. But you got So now you need
right.
2.
I'm feeling better about my choice. You're looking for this thing alone. Just you're pulling that shit on sleeping.
I got to take the fall. So panic chart. I roll a d6, right?
Yeah, and then you add whatever.
I add my 2 stresses. Okay. Okay, I rolled a 1, and then I add 2 stress dice. So that's the 3. So I'm good, right? Keep it together.
Yeah. So you're like, like you both see it. Now, actually, because whenever you see an alien, Holiday, you have to give me a panic check.
I also rolled a 1 +2,
Nice.
so I'm also good.
Right.
Alien Freak Squad. We're
Yeah.
together.
So now, I need you to make a mobility check.
Okay.
The alien is going to make an observation check. This is to see if I'm going to give it a -1. But if it rolls higher than either of you, then it will. Dollars, I love it. It will. Okay. It's actually
3 6s.
Hey, you guys are rolling so many goddamn 6s tonight.
Yeah, got lucky with that
Make that hey sound a little more disappointed, huh, Malcolm?
Hey,
you guys are a lot of sixes.
Might be another game where everyone survives. Jeez. You got 3 6s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what'd you get, Holiday?
Oh shoot, I thought it was just him.
Oh no, y'all both gotta give me mobility.
Mobility. I am good at mobility. She said famously her last words. One 6.
1
No
6. So, Yusuf, you were backing away without a problem, and then the thing kind of twitches, and its head lunges out and then opens its mouth and lunges out of the pipes, leaving it doesn't leap down, but it lunges down with its hand, this 6-fingered hand, elongated dark fingers at Holiday for an attack. So there's
great.
No.
I will roll to see what kind of attack it is. Ooh. So all right, I need to make 10 more dice rolls. As it lunges down towards Holiday. Holiday, give me a stamina check.
Stamina. Sure, it couldn't be me using my flyweight ability to use agility instead of strength. Okay, stamina. Okay. Only 2. That's still only 2 panic.
Oh, yeah. Let's still. Yeah, still only 2 panic. Still only 2 panic.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 6s.
Okay.
Yeah. Why am I surprised? Okay. So it reaches down and grabs Holiday, starts to lift her up into the pipes, and it's just like holding her by her shoulders, and the tail just slams into the back of her neck, and she starts to like look drowsy, and then it starts like climbing. So Yusuf, it's like taking her with it.
Can I just shoot it with my bolt gun?
Yes. Let's see. It gets a chance to. So those 2 6s you rolled, you have 2 rounds before you pass out, Holiday.
I don't even know how bolt gun works.
So the bolt gun is, I think you get a plus. Let me find the bolt gun. I have it here. It's a harpoon. That's the harpoon gun, not the bolt gun.
Oh, I'm so bad with combat.
The bolt gun.
Range combat.
It's no bonus. There's no bonus. It does do it does a damage of 3. These weapons are strangely inaccurate. But the range is short. That's the problem. You're not close enough. Like it's a short range. What is short range for in a mate? It's I was like no, because it's you guys in the same space. That is short range. So
right.
yes, you can use it. Go ahead. It's so it's just So it does do a lot of
range
damage.
Combat check, basically.
It's pretty much unlike. That's why it does so much damage because you're like right there. It's grabbing her and it just flies like a giant nail gun.
I don't have to add another stress die, do I? As I see that.
No. Yes. Whenever you see someone attacking your friend, you add another stress.
Okay. All right. Very good roll. Let's see. 1 die fell. Panicked. 2 panic. Yeah. So I failed. Panic chart.
Oh, so panic. So yeah.
So that's +3 to whatever this is. That's a 4 + 3. That's 7. I have a nervous twitch. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range increased by 1.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So...
Now I have 4.
Am I conscious enough that works? That my stress goes up.
Yeah, isn't she like out of consciousness?
For like 2 more rounds, so maybe
2 more rounds, right? That's right.
So Yusuf, you watch as the creature, because you have a nervous twitch.
Yeah.
And
I'm
what
like
is
twitching.
you're just
trying to hit it.
With if this was initiative, right, the creature would now have its turn, and so you watch as it just drags Holiday up, her tatted sleeved arms out, her fully done makeup, but her that look of terror on her face. She doesn't let out a full-on scream, but it's just like the breath is sucked out of her, and then she's gone. But your weapon is still stuck up there in the liquid.
But she's gone with the alien. The
The alien.
else.
It just dragged her down like the pipe. You can continue to go down, looking for it.
Can I try to take another shot at it?
I'll let you take one more shot as it rises, as it moves away. It's quick, right? But so I will make it a -1 to your shot. Seeing as you are shooting out of initiative, and it would have been able to move twice. So aliens move really fast, like way faster than you guys. It's like 3 spaces per move. So it's like 6 full units that it would go. Yeah. So you're just like doom, doom, doom. You're just firing that bolt gun, slamming bolts into the. And at this point, you realize she's gone. But now, from what you know, it doesn't mean she's dead from what happened to Arden.
I was gonna message you, but I'll just say
you can message me. I mean, if you want to, or and then you haven't gone to comm, so no one else knows this is happening. Yeah, right. Like you would have to go back up and get your, go call someone or go back up. You're. I imagine you're in a bit of state of shock since you were like kind of twitching. But go ahead. Well, you said okay. So you go and you message the people on the comms. I'm gonna send you something back. All right, so then as you call up, do you go all the way back up? Because I mean, are you afraid? Because there's an intercom, like I said, next to the ladder.
I'll go after the closest one.
Or do you just get out of here and go back up and meet with the crew?
I'll message on the comments like right away, and then I'll run up the ladder.
So as you guys hear, what do you? I mean, yeah.
What do you say? It got Holiday. Come in, anybody. It has Holiday.
You're on your way back up those. What's everyone doing or responding as this is happening?
I immediately hit the comm and ask where he's located. Where are they located?
Oh, you can't tell like from the comm or something.
I don't know. Have I successfully been able to install any motion trackers over the last several days?
There's only really in Alien there's one type of motion tracker, and it's the one. Unfortunately, no one has said they were using it when you were like walking down there. I know you tried to do the thing with the speakers, so I'm gonna say unfortunately no. I think that you haven't.
I can track heat signatures, right? Mm-hmm. So she should have a heat signature.
Yeah, and so it tracks. Remember, it doesn't track it like how the motion tracker does, but it just will tell you if there is something, if there's someone is down there in the general vicinity. So yes, it's like level C where they're at. You are getting her reading right now down in that area where he says she is. So it would still be a matter of preparing to go down there. I don't know if you guys could just rush down. How you guys are going to approach it? It's up to you.
I mean, definitely would want to have our weapons.
Yeah, I was visualizing as I'm doing my tasks. I just have that incinerator next to me.
Yeah, I imagine everybody keeps their guns next to them for sure.
So yeah, I think I would head down.
So I kind of want to hear from everyone because I'm hearing from Barnes is heading down there. But yeah, let me, what's everyone doing? Kind of talk to me. So Barnes is going to head down. Joe, did you say you're heading down as well?
If we're going, I mean, she's in trouble. Yeah, so yeah, I'll head down there too.
Think of it as like, Arden, like as this, I mean, I imagine it's almost like everyone is called to like in the mess room. Yarvis is there. And then also it doesn't seem like anyone has, clearly no one's actually brought any of the stuff up about that you found. You've just been sharing it with other crew, but you haven't brought it to Yarvis at all, right? Barnes, okay. So yeah, Zane is there panicking, kind of getting himself together. Barnes is talking about going down. I'd like to hear from Arden and Yarvis, I guess, on what happens.
I think I would walk up to Zane, kind of after Barnes and the rest of them kind of get all gung-ho. I would kind of move towards Yusuf and kind of like try to calm him down. Try not to like make this situation bigger than it needs to be.
We have to go get her now.
We will. They're going down as like I kind of like nod over at the three that are heading down. And I'm like rubbing his back, trying to just, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What are you all loaded out with? Like what weapons does everybody have?
Incinerator.
Okay.
So yeah, I would have also gone with them, and I do have a motion tracker, so I would have pulled that out.
Yeah, I have a motion tracker too that my character has had from the beginning. In my notes, I have both a service pistol and a shotgun, and I don't know what a shotgun is. The equivalent is in this game.
Oh, I have it. It's it's going to be. Sorry if I can find it here. It's the Armat model shotgun. It's a +2 bonus weapon. It's 3 damage, short range, weight 1.
Okay.
Yep. And all of your weapons have, like we said, 2 reloads.
Okay. How many shots do I get with one load? Is it just one?
No, it's like it's a automatic shotgun, so it's probably a good 8 to 12 shots. I'm sure you're like loading those up one at a time. Now the thing is, because remember, you don't track ammo in this game. You just, when you roll a 1, when you panic, you have to reload. Yeah, okay. Because when you panic, it just means that you just start firing. You just start firing off shots like crazy.
So I have my shotgun and my motion tracker.
Okay. And so the party heads down. I mean, the crew. Using with Arden has her tracker out. Barnes has hers out with almost your heartbeat kind of matching the little thump of that motion tracker, hoping to pick something up. You start to stalk the lower levels of the ship, starting on the deck that you expect to find Holiday. You descend into the belly of the ship, and I will take observation checks from Barnes and Arden, since you guys are leading the way with your motion trackers.
Two 6s.
Okay. I take it the ship is on kind of autopilot right now.
I mean, it's however Holiday left it.
Yeah, it's just kind of just traveling.
Drift.
Okay. What'd you guys said 3 6s?
I got 2 6s.
Okay. Let me make my roll because I meant to make a roll. And so you all know that you're in the right place as you start to move through the different halls using the schematics of the ship. Some of you watching each other's back, and you find like a scarf of Holiday's, and it's kind of stuck this entire hall now leading towards the where the tankers are is full of that resin as you guys begin to march down it. Because of this amount of success, is there any other questions you want to ask there? If not, then I'll continue.
Was there any like struggle or anything?
No signs of struggle. At all. And so far, no. Just the scarf. And then from what Yusuf shared with you, it's just I'm sure he told you she was struck, and similar to you, Arden. Yeah.
Can we tell the direction that it seemed to go or to take?
Yes, right now you are on the right direction. You feel like you are very close to, you're definitely on the right path as you found her scarf.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were at an intersection that we had to choose a direction.
Okay. No, you're following the path.
Okay.
And as you begin to follow that path, you come to not really like a boiler room, but almost imagine it's kind of like an open space where the tankers are, where this creature has spent some time. And as you all walk into the room, you can see that up on the wall, kind of splayed out, is Holiday. Her head is down, and there's all this dried resin on her. And as your incinerator goes up, it allows you to see the space a bit. At this moment, Holiday, you're starting to come to and wake up, and you feel a bit groggy. I don't know if there's anything you guys say or do in this moment as you're standing there in a room that's kind of flickering just under the flame of the incinerator, like a torch in a very dark dungeon, with almost like at the center of the room with Holiday, like almost like crucifix style, but just like splayed against the wall. Any last words of the party?
Holiday, is it nearby?
You see Holiday there, like.
Do I know if it's nearby?
Oh, you don't know.
Just gives a groan and non-committal head shake.
You guys try to cut her out?
Motion trackers to try to sweep around the edge of the room.
So you guys start to stalk. Yeah. We start watching them stalk the edges of the room, looking for it to.
I'll run up and try to get her out of there.
start cutting her out. And as we kind of like pull back on you guys pulling Holiday out, we cut back to the deck on the ship as these like dark hands start picking away and pushing buttons and then one of them like moves a lever up, and then as the camera kind of slowly pans upwards away from those dark hands as they leave the shot, as we pull up, there's just a shot of the room, the mother, and as it's closing, you can see the creature standing inside the room with mother, and we'll crash to black and in tonight's episode.
That's somehow worse. That's somehow worse than
Oh no, we gave it master control. Uh-oh.
Like, mother, activate all anti-personnel and activate all interior defenses. Fuck this alien.
This is one smart alien.
Oh my gosh.
If only I had a better password.
Yeah, black.
This is all
that should have edited it.
Finger starts typing out
And
hashtag.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is the best.
I should have had it typed in Yarvis is the best. 007.
And the alien's just like, of course.
I know this is getting really super wacky, but hopefully it'll play out in the decks. This has been a very interesting.
Like what I was thinking, okay, yeah, the alien games, sure, you play enough of them. Okay, this is the part where we hunted and we die. No,
Yeah, this is the part where it starts
and it
to
gets
call the
outy.
herd a little
Instead,
bit.
it hijacks our ship.
Yeah, this is totally unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because it's kind of a tie into the whole Life Force thing, and you guys have to continue to figure it out. But yeah,
Cool.
I will say the Alien has a little bit of inspiration off of as wacky, and I this is not a because I think like role playing. I never think it's not like some high art form where I'm like, oh, we're writing the best stories ever. We're just having fun. So I think of like this creature as like Jurassic Park's Blue, but as a xenomorph. It's like an extremely intelligent alien.
So just holiday and Yarvis, holiday and Yusuf down there trying to like, okay.
It was an interesting episode because you guys made it really. Because I was really going with the flow. I didn't know what it was going to play. I was like, how is this going to work on the ship? Like, I didn't expect for Barnes to get access to the computer room.
Is Yarvis going to report the fact that we like totally murdered like a whole ship full of people? Is that going in the official report that we opened fire and destroyed an entire ship? I meant to ask that, but
I think
it go in the report.
I think my messages to Game Mother are like 1-sentence lines. So that's what my report is. So I may have mentioned it, but not in detail.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys have ship in deep space.
This is also one of those alien games where you guys were rolling so many like sixes. It was really hard to go against.
Like, we were rolling hot tonight.
Yeah, that was
rolling really well.
We were ready to go.
So I think that definitely
panicked once.
Tech or observation, I have a pretty decent chance, and we
me
got
too.
to the point where we had like 6 stress.
Yeah.
That like totally undermines it. So you're like,
once you get all
like 5 6s, and then you'd get a 1, and you're like, okay, well that doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I was expecting was trying to push it forward and get some of the like. It was supposed to really like be like the journey to Aquarius, but just like you kind of have to just go with the flow, and like the refusal to like take the days, and based on what you guys were doing, it just made sense. So yeah, they're still working on it, on finding this creature. So they did find, and I didn't also. I think if I would have rolled a death, I would have killed Arden, but I rolled the little puncture thing where it snatches you up.
I could have died there. I also could have died there.
Yeah, you could have died there. If I would have hit a 6, you would have automatically died. Yeah, it would have.
I'm just trying to have a conversation with an alien. That's my whole character drive, is have a conversation with an alien.
So the deaths really are random. So when you guys survive, it's like, hey, you guys did it. Like you guys survived that whole thing. Pat yourself on the back.
I thought for sure this was the week that like
everybody.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because it had been a couple of times.
Yeah, like we got clubbing last game. Yeah, like this is
that's right.
Overdue.
But it was the nod, the kind of like nod to like it wasn't gonna be your typical alien game was supposed to be the fact that like Joe, like he literally leaps down on him and doesn't do anything, right? Just like So that's kind of a.
But also the way it cradled the weapon, and I was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it's doing some very weird So yeah, you got to take some reaches so that the alien game doesn't just become the same thing, right? So hopefully when it all reveals itself, it'll make sense, or make
maybe we can bribe it. Like, hey, it doesn't need to eat one of us. We have plenty of food, right?
It has now
We
not
make it one of the crew.
friendly.
We make it one of the crew. We give it a little high-vis vest.
Yeah.
Get it a little jumpsuit.
Okay, now I do want to inspect the saliva. I gotta look into that.
I have
Make
no
it part
clue
of
how
the crew. I love
to
that.
figure out how to start this next session now.
I will say, my big mystery that I want solved come the end of this little mini campaign is where the fuck this alien, what is it merged with? It's so smart. I'm trying to think, like, what?
That will all be answered.
possibly-
That will be answered.
Cool.
That's all
metal
part of
with metal teeth. I'm like, there's no way that it could have like gestated inside of like a robot or a synthetic.
Oh, no.
That's
A transformer.
Like the regular one.
Well,
has
that's
metal
just-
teeth, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's just a regular
Okay.
xenomorph. If you look at the creature, the teeth are metal, and
okay.
they're described as biomechanical. That's why the
Mm.
alien almost looks like a robot with this like weird stretch, it's kind of designed that way. Like Giger's artwork always looked like his Necronomicon art always looked like wet metal creature beings. Like very.
I thought it was like with having the working Joe be our first battle. I
Yeah.
thought you were doing something with that where it was going to be like everything evil that we touch in this campaign is going to come back to some kind of mechanical
Yeah.
source.
Yeah, if you look at them, you start looking at the alien creatures, they all have like, they're very biomechanical. They almost look like robots. And then that's why I kind of really like, a lot of people hate Alien Covenant, but I kind of like the idea that really Scott plays with is that in Prometheus, Elizabeth escapes with David, who's an android. And David is the product of the humans who trying to create gods, create this android. And David goes off to try to find, Elizabeth wants to meet her maker. So she goes to the planet of the engineers. And then David kills Elizabeth because he's ready to go higher than his maker and uses parts of both himself, the biomechanical. That's why the alien is biomechanical, because he's a product of David. He's a union of David and Elizabeth, who is human and android. And then he essentially creates something more sinister than, they could ever be together. So it kind of like answers that kind of story. Like, why is the alien biomechanical? In a weird way. Like, it doesn't typically, like, some people argue it doesn't really need to eat, but some people say it eats. No one really knows. Like, it's never really been proven how they eat. A lot of books try to describe that they eat the brain matter when they puncture you, but some people say they just kill for sport.
Like cats, they don't have to kill
Yeah.
all the things they do, but they like it.
Now, the drone. So there's like the drone. There's different. Like the book explains the different aliens in a really cool way, where you understand that like the one in Alien 1 is essentially when it has no queen, it will act more, like a cat. Like it'll act more sensual in its nature to decide what it wants. But then once a queen shows up, they start to kind of turn into worker bees. They turn into soldiers, and then they just like march forth and kill things and do things that the queen. There's like the hive mind develops. And then they lose the clean sheer dome that they normally have, and then it comes into this riveted dome that from the Alien 2. Some of them lose the bipedal, where they kind of have these hind legs. They start to create the hind legs, and this is all differences that they've tried to create because James Cameron's Aliens looked very different from Ridley Scott's Alien.
I love when franchises do that. I love when franchises have to
they kind of like
come up with clever excuses for the change of designs.
The real truth is that James Cameron could not afford to have everyone in an alien costume have that dome. Cost too much money, so they just took the dome off, and under the dome is the ridges.
My own personal headcanon, kind of coming from Prometheus, is that they are inherently mutagenic, and they just in different places it is developed differently, and it's just a feature of that species.
Yeah, so it's especially seeing as the way whatever creature they gestate in, they make a different type of creature in just that way. So yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I had like the bull alien, the gorilla alien, there was like a bunch of different toys for all the different creatures they had like burst out of, and they all came with like face huggers and stuff. That's when toys were really like violent and over the top. Like I remember like the Jurassic Park toys, Dennis Nedry came with removable arms. You could just rip his arms off. So that guy would die every time. Like die every toy session. Oh man. Yeah.
Just imagining little Malcolm with glee
ripping
the arms off.
Yeah.
And then years later, he would take joy in ripping the arms off of your players around a tabletop. It all started.
That's what makes it so, like you just
That's why they had to stop making those toys.
Murder somebody's character? Like okay.
There's a premise for like a new version of Dexter. Like you have to play D&D in order to satisfy the craving, otherwise you need to actually go kill somebody.
he's like a super hard DM. He's just super
He's
hard.
actually like a really hard
a TPK kind of DM.
Dang. I tried there. I was like, okay, if somebody's gonna die this episode, it's gonna be Yusuf and then I was like, nope.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like the moment he took the weapon, I was like, Yusuf is probably dying this episode because he's going after. So.
I'm really just not trying to force any of it. Just let it play out. The dice are telling me, hey, you guys are meant to keep going. So you guys are meant to keep going.
Dice God has smiled upon us this day.
Yes. Your dice were on you the entire time. I think even my alien, I normally roll like when I roll, because the alien gets like 10 dice on the average when I roll. I usually get like 3 or 4 6s, and I was getting like 1, 2. Like I was like,
because you're not wearing the hat.
Yeah,
that's
what
right.
happened. I didn't mind no Stromal hat, man. I gotta get that together. I'm gonna be all geared up next game.
You're gonna be like cosplay next
to the ridges.
You know what's funny too? All the luck. My Snapchat filter for the alien wouldn't work. Nothing worked for the aliens tonight. So you guys, it was on. I think it was Dice Gods, and we're on your side. You're like, this crew needs to keep going. I gotta feel for Jarvis, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not talked to so I don't know much about the full motivations of Henry's character, but I will tell you what I think is funny is that he's coming across as the typical, like, he's being so nice and like
and we don't trust that here. I
feel like I don't, like, part of me doesn't think he's that guy, but I don't really know it. And now, you go in there and like the whole machine is like, yeah, you're because I don't even know if he's asked those questions that you asked. So I don't know if he knows the same thing. You all assume he does, and he might.
The assumption is that as the company rep, he knows what our mission is.
What's funny about that is that
he's not doing his job as a company rep.
Because when you said that, after the time jump, after the little space battle, I was going to say, because right before that space battle started, that message came out saying to go to Mother.
Yeah.
So as soon as it ended, I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do on my free time.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Barnes beat me to it. So I got all the secrets third party through Barnes' actions.
Yeah, but Barnes didn't tell you. So did you find out after?
That's what I'll have to share with him if he got that between the games, and then he can.
Yeah. He might have got different information.
Yeah.
I would have known what to ask, right? Because I've been in communication with them.
Yes, you do. So we'll.
We can't. No, anyone who chooses the company man, no, we can't trust anyone.
Could this be the one alien game where you can trust the alien and the company man?
Bigger risk.
I have to wonder, if he comes in after Barnes messed around and asks similar questions, even if he knows the right questions to ask, does it make Mother suspicious?
Yeah, like
she thought he was in there already.
Yeah,
does Mother have the capacity to feel suspicion?
Yeah, might have to roll a random.
It's like all 1980s technology. It probably
it might just keep saying
like stupid flesh bags asking the same questions twice.
So what's so funny is it's so funny when you think that your players are going to, because I thought that a lot of this game was going to be informed by Alien 1, because I was like, okay, they're probably going to overthink. They're going to over strategize about, I thought you guys were going to like start sealing off hatchways and trying to flush the flush it. I thought you guys were going to try to.
That's a good idea.
I was going to do, but he ran away.
Like no one ever really got on board with like doing anything.
I'm like, no, that's a good idea though. That we should have done that.
That would have been smart.
Hindsight is
Flush into
2020.
the airlock. But
Oh,
then I was
we didn't have the military guy. If Rafa was here, he
Rafa,
would have.
Yeah, Rafa. Oh, Rafa would have been paranoid, locking everything down.
Yeah.
So it gave me more chance to be like, okay, what is the alien doing here now? What are they doing here now?
The alien is observing us, wondering why we aren't sealing the ducks up.
Yeah. And so then since it did decide to drag you, I tried to pull that because there is a when in Alien 1, even though there's no queen alien, that's what I think it's where James Cameron kind of got the idea. They don't really explain why the alien does this, but the alien snatches the captain in that scene where the captain's in the vents. It just like surprises the captain, and they cut the scene out because you never see the captain again. But in the scene that's cut out, Ripley, it has this incinerator, and she walks into the room, and sure enough, the captain is up on the wall, like in all the goo. And so you're like, what is the alien saving the captain for? We never know. We don't know. It's never addressed.
We learned in Alien 2.
but we learn. But if the case is in Alien 2, there needs to be an egg, and the captain is there being saved. But this alien's not a queen, so people always go, well, what is it saving him for? And some people will argue that if the alien goes long enough, then it eventually becomes a queen, and then it lays an egg. So then it's hard to, you don't know,
I bet that.
It just needs a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna get lonely. It's a long trip.
Yeah.
It's a long trip.
Snack for later.
Yeah.
Snack for later. The resin. Turns out the resin is like a super anti rotting thing. Like just keep it fresh,
And I think that's the thing I love about this franchise, as long as it's been around, is that there's still like a lot of unanswered questions, and I like that they're not. I like that the movies don't. I hate the movies that try to answer them. Like I like when they just kind of are unanswered. They're more scary and sinister and weird, and it's more about space and the unknown. It's like, why does this creature do what it does? No one fully really understands why, and the only people who have ever seen it do what it does fully are viewers who don't exist in the world, right? These like people like that we are. No one's ever really seen it. So now you get to that fourth movie where they're like cloning Ripley. You're like, I'm out. Like I'm done. Yeah.
Like I'm good. Thanks though. Thanks Cameron. I'm good.
Yeah. And then here I am doing Jurassic Park Alien. So hey, I would
there you go. Yeah.
Better. I would just. But
well, I was wondering when you're bringing the Predators back. So
they're on the dock.
Some predator somewhere is feeling a disturbance. Like someone is disrespecting my weapon. Someone is disrespecting. It's covered in goo.
I think that's my big gripe with movies today is they feel like people will play D&D to come up with the script. I feel like we make better stories.
One draft and we're good.
And the shit I go, wait, you guys had writers and y'all got paid to write this?
Right.
I wrote this with my crew on the fly.
That's true.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but it's also such an ego boost when you're like, okay, these are people getting paid. And I saw, they're just coming up with half-assed shit. Like
Cheryl turns out like a 3-page thing last night of the game, and you're reading it, and you're like, oh
it was like 2 pages.
Gosh, this is amazing. Like, you're like, and then I go to the movies, and I'm like, really? Really? Oh man. So yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it was a hard episode to also keep exciting because it was just you guys are doing so many different things in so many different ways, but it was kind of fun. And I at least wanted to try the attack of the ship. But then I also thought you guys might actually allow them to board. And I was like, if they allow them to board, that would be a very interesting situation, right? Like with this whole other crew. Because I thought you guys might I thought you might allow them to board so that
I thought that was possible.
Because I thought that if you let them board, the alien might go to work. It might bring the alien out. I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of the debate I'm like, Holiday's totally cool with them taking music. No offense.
Makes perfect sense. I was expecting it. I was happy.
And then maybe let the alien on. But the other part of me is like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know who they're working for.
Of course.
This is the kind of shit that Holiday would send to someone before going in with her death squad. Like, no, we're not gonna do this. Love to.
I love how you just like destroyed that shit. We'll never know who they were.
It's actually fitting that I did it. Because they wanted me.
This is
you're like, no, I'm not going back.
And no one will know why.
Yeah, that's true.
What have you been up to?
He secretly knew exactly how to use the guns.
Ooh.
That's great. Oh man. Yeah. It's so interesting that you guys have been studying the weapon, but no one's It's so funny. No one's actually pointed it. I mean, I get it because it's probably really dangerous, but no one's actually really tried to use it yet. Just
that was the one low roll though. I didn't get to figure out how it worked.
Yeah.
If we weren't in a tiny spaceship, like in floating around in the void,
exactly,
I absolutely would have like gone to an open space and tested it, but we don't have that.
Like, so I was gonna be like, you pull the trigger, roll 20d6.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
As the side of the ship blows
Blow a
out,
hole in
everyone
the
gets
ship.
sucked out.
The helm turns to paper.
Everyone gets sucked out, slowly you all just freeze to death in space.
That
And
is
then the credits
exactly-
just start rolling.
If they try to take Yusuf on the ship, he would definitely try to do that. Like, okay, I'm taking you all down with me.
I could tell Yusuf, you were like, I'm going towards the alien. Like every chance you had, like
every chance.
I was like, well, thank you for having somebody who's willing to put themselves in harm's way.
It's just this character, man. You took the weapon, so you took Yusuf basically. You're just like
I wish
dragging him along.
Hey Malcolm, I gave you a chance, man. I left my gun at the galley and I walked into the room and you had the alien run away. So that's on you. You could have you could have killed me.
Yeah, it's you know why? It's because the entire night the alien is actually on the board and I actually just have been moving it like methodically. And so when it's not next to somebody, it's not. I don't. So like you can see it's on the GM layer, and I just keep like moving it. So it would like go up, and then it would go downstairs, and then it would a couple times it was like right next to you guys in the galley, and then it would move. And so yeah, it was so kind of fun to just kind of move it around.
Thanks, Malcolm. I hate that.
That would be hilarious. Like if Jarvis left his gun in the galley, came back and it's gone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The alien just arming itself. It's just going Rambo.
Just like
yeah. I think that the whole thing that I stated at the beginning of the game, where I was like, it's not gonna. I think that's on the table now. Like I think that's like all on the table now. Like the alien is like literally at the controls now.
That is something that I guarantee would be. They should do that for the next Alien movie. Is give the alien a gun. That's how you revitalize the franchise.
Yeah, Alien Rambo.
And I don't want to. So this will be it's not a spoiler, but like if you remember what I said, this mini campaign, my inspiration for it, there was one picture, one art piece that I showed. So if you guys have seen that art piece, then you would probably kind of know what's up. But if you forgot, then that's great. It's actually perfect. But there's one art piece online that I shared with everyone, and I was like, dude, this art is so dope. This is what the next campaign is going to be about. And it kind of says everything in the art. So, yeah.
When this is over, can you show it to us again?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I have absolutely no memory of it.
Yeah. That's what I love about that's actually one of my favorite things about DMing is sometimes spoiling things, but knowing that 6 episodes or 7 episodes later, no one's going to remember. And it's still going to be just as much of a surprise. So you just like share stuff and you're like, they're not going to remember that. But it's always nice. Oh, sometimes somebody calls
like,
it.
oh, I've been thinking about this for 6 weeks.
And then you're like, damn it. Like Cheryl says something. I'm like, oh my God, she knows. Like,
I never do.
You get
in the dark.
You get really close a lot of times with your shots. Sometimes your shots are, sometimes your shots are so good, they make me want to change. I'll be like, that's actually a good one.
That just reminds me of what I was so sure. I'm like, yeah, the band at Zellrooms were the people who smoke. We need to stop the band. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, the band.
It's great.
And then I realized probably like 5 seconds after it left my mouth, and I'm like, oh no, wait, it's because Sean was trapped outside and he needed a way in, so he just invented this band that was loading stuff up.
Yep, just invented. So good. Yeah.
The trick of a good DM is to let the momentary stuff seem like you planned it.
Yeah. Sometimes the best stuff comes when we do take the breaks. I usually do step away. I go like refill water, go wash your bathroom, whatever. And then sometimes just come back and like you just get on and you just sit there like this, see what you guys are talking about. And then you're like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Give
that's
them all
good.
the ideas.
Ooh, that's good.
There was like a tweet or something, right, where it's like, oh, the DM's describing a wolf howling in the distance. And then a player will bring up like, what faces the moon? And the DM's like swapping out the wolves for a
werewolf now. Yep.
Oh,
it's like, oh, it's full. Like
that's fast.
Players need
awesome.
to learn to cut the chatter.
It's so. I will say, I'm gonna lean into it and be like, yeah. Even last night, I think at the end of the game before Storm King's Thunder, you guys talked about if Ebony dies, what the place would look like, and
my God.
I didn't plan on it, but you kind of spoke it into existence so perfectly that when Ebony was in danger, I was like, I'm capitalized. Don't get me wrong. If Ebony was in my clutches, Limerick was going to kill her regardless. I don't think there was any other way.
No,
It was our hubris. Because we were.
It was so perfectly set up for you, though. Like her on her own with that dragon. It's it was so perfectly set up.
I thought it was over for Limerick because I was about to fly away. I was like, this.
But then the
so for everyone else,
the giant ape jumped.
The Triton Bard in the game, they're fighting in a burning theater house in the middle of Baldur's Gate, this huge city. Storm giants are assaulting the city. The one storm giant who's really secretly a blue dragon has turned into a blue dragon. She tries to fly up to the ceiling. One of the players pulls her down with these tendrils that keep her level with the ceiling. The Bard only has like 9 hit points, so she transforms into a gorilla, a giant ape, and gets like 150 hit points, and then climbs the ceiling and just starts. I literally like playing like Godzilla music as they're just like fighting, and she's fighting this dragon, and then she fails a concentration save and goes back, and she's the only one up there. And with one legendary action, just one swipe of the claw, outer, and then catch her. So
and no one had the movement to close.
There's like the scene prior. My character's literally like trying to run and then Misty step and try to get there to heal him.
So with the next, so every time they're trying to, it's like slow motion. So with every legendary action, first legendary action, 2 auto death saves. Second legendary death, automatic death. So she just crushes her slowly, and then she's planned. So Limerick planned to keep her body. I decided she was either going to eat her or she was going to resurrect her, but she knew not at that level of heroes to let you keep the body. So and then they were able to pull off what they were able to pull off is keeping the body.
And then just imagine me like weeping the entire time this is happening.
Oh my god, the show was just
I'm a crier.
It made the episode great. I cried during the movie, so I actually, when I say that, I'm not teasing. I love when people like cry, because I actually like to cry during the end of the campaign. So, but I also have to like hold it together because I got it a little. It's freeing.
Me and Lex had been messaging for like the past 2 or 3 games, like, when the campaign's over, Ebony and Aramis are gonna open up that theater together. Like they finally have like a buddy who like gets them. Like it was we went hard on like the daydreaming about what was going to happen. To have Ebony die and all those dreams die with her.
Yeah.
Awful. Absolutely awful.
So she's like a ghost now that haunts her in a positive way. She like haunts her theater that they're rebuilding. But it was pretty touching. But Cheryl, you it added to it because man, it was because you weren't. I mean, I don't think you were the only one though. I could hear it in Ebony's voice was cracking. I could hear Magnus and Durga going through it. I could hear it in Sean. Like there's a moment. There was one moment, Sean, where I heard you like.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
When you realized that you couldn't cast that one.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
When the realization hit you, I could just see like everything like dumping down on you at once. The realization that there was nothing left.
I was like,
as a DM, you're like the heartstrings. You're just like, yes.
You're like, yes. And then her bones begin to break. Yes.
That's one thing I never try to do, except for in Alien, I go full on grotesque and horror. But usually, except for Strahd, that's probably the worst. I try to respect the character's death. That's why, like, I tried to make sure I didn't like this. It's based on the campaign. Like, I didn't rip her apart. It was just like I wanted it to be a beautiful death because I realized she was not, and she was not getting another chance. I think I did the Curse of Strahd folks dirty because I think in the back of my mind I knew I had a plan to give them a chance back. The problem is I did them so dirty they almost didn't want to play anymore. So it almost ended the entire campaign.
That was rad. Watching.
I watched that on YouTube.
Yeah, you learn. I learned a lesson from that one as a DM. I would probably, if I ever did anything like that again, the entire campaign or the session would have like a warning that came with it. Like, yeah, you got to be ready for kind of like work. You going into this, shit's gonna happen. And if you're, just be ready for it.
With Strahd, it wasn't even. Yeah, it wasn't even like the like grotesque descriptions necessarily. It was that it was so personal.
Yeah,
like he was just rubbing it in their faces, and that's a little different.
Very Strahd. That's very Strahd.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Well, they were insulting him constantly. So
yeah,
that's what he would have done.
I just tried to give as good as they gave him, and when his time came, and it didn't feel good. It did not. It was one of the worst games I've ever, like, in hindsight, I was just like, damn, man. Like, and to this day, people are always just like, man, you didn't have to do me like that. Like, you know, like I didn't have to die like that. Like Nick is one of my he DMs for us all the time. And whenever I bring up that Straw game, he's like, man, Straw put his foot on my neck and just like watched the life drain out of me. And I was like, I described that? I was like
I have no memory of this. I don't remember. Foot on the neck, Malcolm.
It was
like foot on the neck. Like this is
rough.
how you grind out a cigarette. Foot on the neck.
That is how he did.
Like
damn.
He pummeled one of their faces. He pummeled one of them until he wasn't unrecognizable. And then the cleric brought him back again so I could do it again. So I did it twice. Oh, he choked the life out of like out of Elda, the paladin. She was great. And like he just, I don't know, being choked to death, that's already like kind of crazy. And like, so in hindsight,
it's now in like 3 weeks you message, oh, the next campaign will be Strahd on Wednesdays, and we all just are I'm busy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've never been able to rewatch it. I always try to go back and rewatch the episode, can't rewatch it. It's too harsh. And honestly, it's one of my favorite set pieces and stuff and everything, but it just gets too real. It gets too real.
That would be cool to experience. I mean, like for me, just because like I feel like for me, like with D&D, it's like I can actually, that's like my way of actually experiencing. Like I feel like I'm such a stoic in real life, like not by choice. I just don't experience emotions, and then in this game, I can actually experience emotions.
Yep, I'm kind of like that too. I'm kind of. I find that
the epic highs and lows of Dungeons and Dragons.
I actually, what's weird, and Colin knows this about me. I beat a dead horse, but I'm kind of dark like that. Is that when I play D, I want a DM to not put me through the ringer. Like, so Henry, when we played, like that was like torture to the point where like there was no hope. But I think I like the idea that there's hope, and I don't mind being in a situation where like there's a fighting chance, but it may just go to complete shit, right? And like I've yet to have that happen when I play with, and I just don't play enough with DMs. But I do want to be in some really scary, dark situations. Like I think I can. Those are the kind of games I kind of seek. That's why I keep like Eddie, when are we going to hell? I'm tired of stabbing these people in their houses. I feel like we're
Jesus Christ.
We just we are involved. We are a terrible group. We just kind of go around the city, sneaking into people's houses and like stabbing them to death, and then taking their treasure.
So there's a flip side game. There's a flip side game where the party is the detective squad in the 1970s trying to hunt you down. Yeah.
They're very bad people. They're all cultists. They're all sacrificing. We keep, they're sacrificing. They all had it coming, but it doesn't. It's just like our dungeon crawls have lately just kind of been in like these like mansions and these houses and under the sewers and stuff like that. So we know that it's one thing when you go into a campaign knowing that the end goal is you're supposed to go to like hell. So you're just like, man, when are we going to hell? Like, so like every game we're like, when are we going to hell? It's like Aliens. If you play Aliens, you're like, when's Alien coming? When's Alien coming?
When's the Alien coming? When do I die?
Yeah.
When do I die?
So there's a lot of that, but yeah, I play a pretty upright guy. I play Ito. He's a paladin, half orc, and his joke is that I always what is it? Is it debuff when you get rid of your armor? Like before, doffing.
Yeah, it's Doff and Don.
Don. He doffs his armor a lot before battle and I go into the fight sometimes with because I get lucky rolls. I have had several fights where this happened because it started where I went to a bathhouse and we had a fight and I was in the bathrobe and I got higher rolls than I ever did before. So a lot of times he'll just like doff the armor and just come out in his towel and just fight villains that way. That's how silly our game is. But yeah. And there's this half
whatever the deity is, bless these abs.
Yep. He's all tatted on his back, and his Bobo is the foot massage guy he goes to see, and Baldur's Gate. He like walks on everybody's back. We all get inspiration points and stuff for going to see Bobo. Eddie's games are wacky, but they're a lot of fun.
These are Eddie's games.
That guy was on our trip to Waterdeep.
Yeah, play a game with Eddie, and it's a good time. It's still grounded, but Eddie has it's kind of like a Rick and Morty kind of humor that rolls through the game. That's fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Malcolm, our Nick has taken us to hell. in our Wednesday game. So there's that.
See,
yeah,
Nick's actually pretty ruthless.
He is.
Nick is probably the coldest. I think yeah.
Coming from you, oh Jesus.
I think we've given him
With our whole Wizard University, one of the people got initially he was kidnapped and taken to hell, but now he's actually kind of enjoying it. Like he got taken under wing. He's being trained.
To each their own.
Yeah, but so we're all on a mission to try and save him, not knowing that he's actually probably happy where he is.
Nice.
So we have to go the hard way. We had to get to the Astral Sea and then travel through like Acheron to get to the River Styx and finally get in there. But yeah.
How many is this? Because you guys finished your first campaign, so this is like Graphelian, right? Like
this is the one. It's happening at the same time. Like but it's different characters.
Okay.
And actually, like we're kind of panicking as players because we know the world is going to end in about 3 days, but the characters don't know.
Got it. Because you guys are playing within the timeline of the last campaign that ended. That's interesting. You guys are kind of going back through it. So it's almost like if we started like with characters that were playing during the timeline of Storm King's Thunder. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, but completely different characters somewhere else. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Kind of cool. Yeah, Nick
there's a good chance we're going to be stuck in hell.
Okay.
Because we're there already.
Nick homebrews everything, so all his characters are monstrosities. They have no balance. They will do all kind of like you'll fight something, and I'm just making this up, but the creature can have 8 counter spells. He doesn't care. Like if it's gonna be a difficult fight when he throws something. I remember I've watched him play a game. He recorded it, so I watched the game after he recorded it because I was watching his Roll20 screen, kind of like tonight. I could see him moving the monster, and I was like, "What is that? They're about to die!" And then the monster had a token, and every time they killed one version of the monster, it turned into a second version, and then it turned into a third version. It was like, oh my gosh, the monster has so many hit points.
His bosses are brutal, but to be fair, when we pull something and it works, he lets us do it.
He lets you do it.
Like recently, I got off a slow spell on one of his bosses, and I was like, "Well, you failed." He was pretty much done.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, and same type of thing. Like we were fighting like a powerful lich, and we noticed that he had like his cat familiar. We managed to get rid of the familiar, and it made him much less powerful, but also enraged.
Got it. That's interesting. Yeah.
They used slow almost ruined one of my battles last week. On Friday game fighting 2 dragon turtles.
Right. That's right.
And they got off. They tried to, or I think it was Travis tried to get both within the same net of slow. Only one got it, but that ended up being the one that they ran away from. So wonderfully leaving behind.
Yes.
Oh no.
That was the child too. It was a child and a mother. And Johanna's blood hunter used the corpse.
It was so brutal.
That was crazy.
Puppeted the corpse to attack the child, and then the child was slowed and they ran away. So the child's last thing was, "Oh no, my mother's been killed. Oh no, my mother's body is attacking me. Oh, now the body is falling to the bottom of the sea, and the prey is getting away."
and then I'm a bard, so I'm like insulting it about its mother, like just like throwing salt in the wound.
Oh my god!
You did get dunked in the water like twice though, but you did get knocked off the ship like twice.
True.
And that's where you question your players' moralities, right?
Yeah.
I stand by players are not, they are the worst. They're not heroes. I actually think the Storm King's Thunder are probably the most heroic group I've ever played with, because they are so, but man, players do some of the most murder hoboist things, even when they don't think they're, because like it says a lot, because a lot of times when an encounter happens, they're just like, we're the good guys, so these guys are bad. Like no one ever thinks twice about it. Like so for example, the average party intimidates a lot of people that they meet, but whenever they get intimidated, they're automatically, you deserve an ass whooping. It's like anytime they meet somebody and the person they stand their ground, they're like, well, we're gonna kick your ass, and it's like, do you guys really have to do this? Like, it's like
Malcolm, in my one shot, like my NPC
that was my beat.
My NPC tells the players, like, don't kill anybody, all right?
Yeah.
The point here is not to kill. The guards literally retreat. Like they've had battles.
This is in your game.
in my game. The guards are retreating. Shadow's like, no, I don't care. I'm trying to, like, as he's in the alleyway, I'm trying to throw my spear to kill him. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Right. There's the NPC telling you don't kill. But then there's the fact that Sean was like, why is your character in prison? And I'm like, murder. And then Sean was like, oh, like the people are in there for murder too. And I'm like, oh, cool. So it'll be a murder party. I thought I was going into a murder hobo situation. Yeah. I roll up
should have been
barbarian that is like the only person down with homicide in the entire group.
2 weeks ago, I'm playing Theros and we're fighting harpies. It's like 8 and they murder like half the harpies. They go from like 8 to 4 in like 2 rounds. I'm realizing this is gonna become a boring combat scenario. I'm not gonna, nobody's gonna die. Everybody's full of, it's not like you're depleted on resources. So I make a moral call, a morale call on the harpies, and I'm like, they're broken. They're gonna start flying away. And they're like, and so I'm like, I start describing them flying away, and they're like, but DM, like, we still initiative wise, if they're flying away, can we just attack? And I'm like, but why? I look at them like, why? They're like, I'm like, if you want the XP, you're gonna get all of it. They're like, no, we hate harpies. We just want to kill them all. So we go through like 3 more rounds of them just picking the harpies off, and me being like, that harpy's like 400 feet away. It's like, I have 600 range on my. All right, go ahead. And it was just roll after, and they described, and then they like cooked the harpies, and I was like,
that's not going to be appetizing.
I wasn't like cannibalizing the guards. I was just killing them.
Yeah, that's taking it to another level.
Honorably on the field of combat, I was killing these guards.
Honorably.
They were armed. They were armed and armored.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, one thing I learned as a newbie DM is that when D&D Beyond says the encounter is deadly, that means nothing.
No,
it does not.
It means absolutely shit.
Nope.
You need
I need to like
actually at least per player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw in what was the deadly encounter? What was the one you described?
It was basically like it was initially 6 guards, 1 sergeant, 1 watch wizard, and then it said it was like hard. It was about to switch to deadly, and I was like, you know what? I'll just make it deadly. I'll add like a few more guards. And all that happened, all that made it do was make my job harder. And it just like gave more for them to pick off. And it just like, I was like, no, this doesn't help.
When it says deadly,
D&D Beyond,
it also expects you to play the monster almost like video game style, where like they're not going to pause to talk. They almost have to just go for the kill. Right. And like, and it's also based on initiative. So if they get high initiative, then it could be really deadly. There's a lot of factors that D&D Beyond can never really let you know, but it lets you. Here's the thing. I treat deadly only in the way that it's not going to be deadly to the party, but there's a chance that with the dice go badly, I'm going to murder one of them. So I always think about it from that, like one of them could die here if it's deadly. Yeah. But if it's deadly and they've had a long rest, it's not deadly. If it's a deadly encounter and they've had a long rest, it's really probably medium for whatever level you give them.
So the lesson is you bleed them before
with
like challenges and other battles and no long rests and no short rests.
That makes sense.
Well, is the assumption on D&D Beyond that you're going to be running like 7 encounters a day?
Yep.
Because
that's
the difference too.
Yep.
Because it just sets the encounter based on XP and like level of the characters.
Yeah.
D&D is built based on the title, Dungeons and Dragons. So the idea of that these encounters come in waves.
Oh, I see.
And D&D, I think now the way most people play it, because of Critical Role and maybe because you add more narrative, it could be boring in a 4-hour or 6-hour period to just do encounter after encounter after encounter. But I think that's how D&D used to be. It might be an encounter for about an hour, then it was like a puzzle, and then it was just a room, and then maybe you tried to get some downtime, and then the DM rolled a dice. If they had a 19, then something else showed up. You had to fight again, and it would just be like, it was a dungeon. It literally was just crawling. And so since you don't get those, you have to get really kind of creative as a DM. Otherwise, your party is going to always be, and they will always try to be max strength. And like in Storm King's Thunder, they fought this all-out battle with this boss that should have killed somebody. And I was like, they didn't. But I was like, okay, we're going into the next wave of the game. I was like, I'm going to make sure one thing is that no one is getting a rest. They like, the city was getting attacked, and they were like, we're going to take a short rest. We're going to camp for about an hour and talk to each other while we look at the city being attacked. And I'm like, and then rocks start getting held.
And then you got us, and then you throw a thunderbolt at us.
Thunderbolt.
Start slamming down.
Move your ass.
So that's it's
I
like you just kind of have to. Then that's what I've learned for D&D is to treat. I have to learn to at some point. You don't do it all the time, but when you want it to be a little more harrowing, you got to just treat the living world like a dungeon. Like what's going to happen next? Like what's going to happen after that? And that's the dungeon. Is that just things keep coming at the party? The Curse of Strahd, they didn't die because they fought Strahd. They died because they fought Strahd after 3 consecutive battles where they had been talking shit. And then Strahd showed up. He wasn't supposed to show up. He wasn't supposed to kill them that way. But I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens when you guys have, everything's low and now what?
They also made it a very high stakes encounter because you kind of set it up where they were supposed to do one thing after another. And they're like, no. We're going to pull everyone together and fight all of them at once.
Yes. So they fought all of the encounters at once.
Stones.
It was great though. One of the best church fight, like that church fight was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Oh, that's the church we were talking about, that model on the the second to last storm.
They got all of the women, like children, every able fighting person in the town. They all stood there in the rain.
The rain.
Yeah, the creatures marched forward. It was literally a war. Like it was to the point where I was moving Strahd's minions, like all the wolves on trays, like Warhammer. Like there's 5 wolves here on a tray. There's 5 wolves here on a tray. There's ghouls here. There's a werewolf. There's tree people, and it was just all out. So I was literally just pulling. I felt like we're playing wargaming, but with good role play, it turned out to be a really really fun fight. But it was after that they took a turn for the worse.
Well, so on that note, I have to go.
Yeah, do your thing, you guys.
Yeah.
I'll try to get this next game up earlier than we pushed out because I wanted to have Deborah here because I know you were out for a little bit. So hopefully we can get
bringing Emily to school.
Yeah. Oh man, it's
where's she going to school?
I'm gonna stop recording so we can you'll hear that.